SCGs, the traditional opener, of course, for the first of 2 weeks for the Sir Doug Nicholls rounds. So we'll see the Barnacle game up in Sydney on Friday night. Meanwhile, for North, they had more disposals, more clearances. They had way more inside 50s, plus 16.
A lot of more.
More scoring shots, and yet they fell 8 points short, so they're 4 and 5. I contend to you it's probably a good case to be made, and I don't want to downplay the Carlton win, where they had to come from behind and they were awful for 3 quarters and made it work in the last. Their 2 best performances are arguably in defeat. The Giants game in Canberra, where they were excellent on the wrong side of it, and then here today. That's just about some of the better stuff we've seen from them.
Look, I think there's a lot to review for Alistair Clarkson, particularly on the defensive side of the ball today. When they have the ball in their hand, I think it looks okay. Probably at times in today's game they didn't go quick enough, but I think when you're playing against the best teams, you review those games the most thoroughly.
I've given you a hospital handball there. We're going back to the rooms. The Swans by 8 points. Ray.
Thanks very much, Corbin. We're really fortunate enough to be able to spend some time with Cal Mills. Cal, congratulations on today's victory, mate. 8-1, 6 on the bounce, back to the top of the table, and a really eye-catching brand of footy. How would you describe the start for the season for the Sydney Swans?
Yeah, our start's been good. Win-loss is great. I don't think we played our best brand of footy tonight. We kind of went away from things that make us a good side, like sort of turning the ball over in between the arcs and, the forward half. It's really hard because you want to take wins, and that's awesome, but we also know we didn't play our best. So it's a bit of a catch-22.
They're more than a plucky side, though, North Melbourne, and they got out to a great start, particularly at stoppage and clearance. For those listening at home, what did you guys have to change and shift to arrest that area of the game?
Yeah, they were really good. They were fierce around the ball. The pressure was really good. I think what they do is they get a lot of numbers around the ball and they handball a lot and they just swarm you. And we just had to get over to the contest and make sure we had even numbers over there and then, sort of go from there. So that was what we tried to do, but credit to North. They were really good tonight.
Well, Pat Chamberlain in Canberra, she's a Mad Swans supporter. She raced home from golf today to make sure she got to see your game. Plenty of inside 50s, and she asked me to ask you, how are you finding your role down back, particularly today? We thought you were fantastic. How would you judge your own game, Cal?
Oh, I thought it was okay. Did some good things, did some things that I could have done better. But yeah, we probably had, how many inside 50s I had?
60-odd.
Yeah, I felt like we were swimming in it there for a bit. So, but that's on us to be able to squeeze the ground and making sure their ball doesn't come back in our forward 50. So plenty to work on, which is great. And, the best part is to work on things when you're winning. So that's nice.
Well, Pat gave you a pat on the back. She asked me to pass that on. Boys, what else have you got for Cal?
Cal, well done. It was 67 inside 50s you had to defend today. So that's hard yakka, and a lot of times it was coming back several times in a row. I thought you were terrific. Tell us a bit about Will Edwards, though. He's come in, obviously, with Tom McCartan not being out there, and he just looks like just a competitor. Tell us a little bit about him.
He's a man monster, isn't he?
He's
the size of him, mate. Have a look at his calves when you walk past him next time. He's an absolute Adonis. He's awesome, mate. He smashes everyone in the gym. He's lightning quick. He's massive. So when he understands his full strength and his full power, then I think he's going to be a really good key defender for us. And we've seen glimpses of it already. I think he's had really 2 or 3 really good games. So we're pumped to have him in, mate.
And what it's allowed, and we've heard your coach talk about it too, not just him, but Malikan as well. It's allowed Nick Blakey just to get back to playing to his strengths and doing what he does best. I thought he was another key contributor again today.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was getting tagged tonight and just worked really smart with it. Sometimes with tags, the harder you work, sometimes it can fall away from you, but he was really smart. He played within our system, did the stuff that he needed to do and tested him both ways of the ball, which is why we love Liz.
Cal, this forward handball that we're seeing, it's the first time that I've had the pleasure of watching you guys live this year, but it's a real weapon. How was that worked on through a pre-season to now being so far ahead of the game of any other team in the competition?
Yeah, we worked on it flat out through pre-season, but I think the other part is we've got other options as well. So if teams give us that, we'll do that. If there's other options, we'll take other options. So we don't want to be just stuck in one way. Although we've been doing a fair bit, we've got multiple ways to move the ball, which we're really happy with. Like we kind of shifted a bit more to uncontested marks in the back half in the second bit, just because we were the handballs were getting pretty crazy there at one stage. But when we get the balance right, it's really good.
But who calls that, Cal? Is that something that you do as captain, or does that come from the bench? When do you go, hey guys, we're a little bit out of control here. Let's take the chaos away and get back a little bit more into tempo.
Oh, it's a bit of both. We've got the license to pull it out there, and then we'll also get a message say, hey, this is what we're thinking. Let's change it a little bit. So, as I said before, we don't want to get stuck in one method. We want to have multiple ways. And
last one from me, Cal. You've obviously been incredibly interrupted over the last couple of years with injury. How are you finding it now with a lot more consistency in your own game and your own preparation? You're obviously one of the stars of the competition, but how are you finding, if you found any parts of the game has changed that you sort of look at and go, okay, I need to adapt to that now?
It's just probably the position. Playing half-back's a bit different. Just being able to understand what my strengths are down there and playing to that and helping the team set up the best I can behind the ball. So, but I reckon the game's definitely gotten quicker. I don't know about you guys watching it, but Jesus, being out a couple of years, it's the pace has gone up. The AFL's getting what they want.
Kel Mills with us on ABC Sport. Kel, it's Corbin Middlemass here. Your old mate Jacob Constanti, I feel like you're in the thick of it today with him. He was up in everyone's face. I know there's a few former Swans boys in the North Melbourne team, but it felt like everyone had a little bit of advice for him and vice versa today. Yeah, it's just a lot of tongue-in-cheek. We know Jakey really well, so it's actually fun coming up against your old teammates, so we just talked a bit of rubbish out there, mate. Well, they're all still got a big 0 in the win column against the Swans, against their old team. I'm sure you're pretty keen to keep it that way. Appreciate your time, Kel. We'll see you next Friday night.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Kel Mills in the Sydney rooms. They play Collingwood on Friday night. We got a hard out. We're 3 minutes away from jumping to our next stop. If you're in the ACT, it's NRL action. The St George Illawarra Dragons up against the Newcastle Knights. For everybody else, you'll be off to Sydney for the GWS Giants up against the Essendon Football Club. 8-point win for the Swans.
Any chance of Bombers, mate?
No. Okay. I'd be surprised if they won today. What about you, Ram?
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Yep. The votes in the ABC Football of the Year?
Rama? It's hard today, isn't it?
It's a tricky one.
I was going to ask Cal, who did he think the best Swans player was today? I think he was. I think he needs to be in the votes.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, they win the game and probably didn't feel like they were going to lose even any time that last quarter, but I don't feel like they had one. I mean, Heaney has 24 and 3, so he has an impact on the game, doesn't he? Blakey, I thought, was really good, but I mean, it's a good sign, isn't it, when you win like that and not have any real sort of standouts, just have even performances across the board. But you want to go?
Yeah, I'll have a go. I gave one to Luke Davies-Uniacke. I thought, particularly in the first half, he was clearly North Melbourne's best player. I gave 2 to Cal Mills, just controlling the back line. He talks about in that interview that he's adapting to playing half back. Well, he's doing a really good job at it.
Well, I think to defend 67 inside 50s like he did, and I thought he was the general back there.
Yeah, and I gave 3 to Isaac Heaney. I just think with the 3 goals and the 24 possessions playing as a midfielder.
7 clearances.
Yeah, you're pretty much the difference maker there, and the 7 clearances, as you mentioned.
And key moments too, wasn't it? So the rundown tackle here goes back and kicks the goal when North have got some momentum. Same at the other end. So defensive side of the game was strong. Not his best game, clearly, but it's a good sign, isn't it, when you can play such a terrific, or when you level at such a high level.
Yeah.
That we think that 24 possessions and 3 goals out of the middle is not nowhere near your best game. So 3 to Heaney, 2 to Mills, and 1 to Davies-Uniacke.
I like it. The footy's just beginning. Off to Sydney next for the Giants up against the Bombers, and then tonight at the MCG, it's Geelong and Collingwood as Scott Pendlebury equals Brent Harvey on game 432, the equal games record. And then also in Darwin tonight, you'll see the game between the Suns and the Saints.
What about the GWS banner? It just says Essendon, strengths, blank, weaknesses, 7,916 days.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired
early.
There we go. The committee team up there in Sydney, good luck to them as the banner crew's hard at work. Swans by 8 points here. MRO out of this game. Just keep a watch on Jacob Constanti for his little kidney shot as he whacked his opponent in Papley in the back. And Cooper Trembath ended the game on the bench after appearing to hyperextend his leg in Q4. Thanks to you, Ben.
Thanks, Corb.
Thank you, Ram.
Well done.
Thanks,
Well done,
Paulie.
Corby.
Big day. The Ballie's been on AFL Saturday too. You can find that through ABC AFL Daily. Thanks to Ray Chamberlain, to Con and to Lee for all of their work, and to Craig back in the studio. Either the NRL in Canberra or, of course, the AFL. Our main game for the rest of the network right now, the Giants and the Dons.
For some, the world's a stage.
The theatre we make, it's visceral.
For others, it's a spreadsheet.
She has got to go.
Anne Edmonds and Kitty Flanagan star in the brand new comedy, Bad Company. Streaming now on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Sport.
AFL. On ABC Radio.
On digital. And ABC Listen.
Look for the AFL button.
I'm not sure if the word impatient appeared on the leaked Brisbane whiteboard last week, but it certainly seems like patience has run out for Brad Scott at the selection table. He has made 6 changes, 4 of them elective, for their trip to the Sydney Showground to face the Greater Western Sydney Giants, a team also languishing in 14th position on the AFL ladder as it currently stands. So can the Orange Tsunami trigger a resurgence up the ladder for them to make something of season 2026? Saturday footy on ABC Sport continues here. Great to have you join us. My name is Brett Sprigg. Daniel Gard calls the action alongside me.
Great to be with you, Spriggy. This may not have seemed like the most exciting game of the season on paper, but when you break it down, there's a lot riding on this. The Giants have got to get going now. This is a big chance for them to build some momentum. Essendon, then West Coast for GWS in the next 2 weeks. So a big chance to get going. And for the Bombers, the last time they came here, they lost by 126 points. They can't afford another drubbing, or the pressure builds again on Brad Scott. So I think there are some big subplots at this stadium this afternoon. Looking forward to it.
So there's half a dozen changes for the Bombers. Out goes Ben Mackay, Tom Edwards, Jade Gresham, Max Kondogiannis, Jai Caldwell, Sardell Hawley. Those last 2 are injuries. Back in comes Mason Redmond, Darcy Parish, Archer May, Archie Perkins, Nick Bryan and Zach Johnson, who signed a new 2-year extension this week at the Bombers. For the home side, their key pillar up forward, Jesse Hogan, is out with a hip injury. So too Lecker with an ankle, Xavier O'Halloran ankle, Ryan Angwin concussion. In comes Max Krajewski, Jake Riccardi, Ollie Hannaford and Toby McMullen. Your texts remain welcome as always, 0437 774 774. And our experts are in position here as well, with the opening ball up only a few moments away. Former Swan and Blue Jason Saddington and Norm Smith medalist and 2-time premiership winner Ryan O'Keefe. Hello.
Hey, good to be here. What a perfect day for football. There's no excuse whatsoever about the conditions out there. The sun's out, no wind. It's absolutely fantastic. So hopefully see a high skill level, fast-paced game today, Sato.
Yeah, no, I agree, Pep. Stay tuned in because I think it might be that. I think we might have a bit up and down footy. The Giants need to get their game going. They've been a bit up and down through the season so far, and they've got a big couple of weeks. Get Bombers this week, West Coast next week. They need to get their season going. Here's an opportunity for them today. And Essendon, well, you know, everyone's always talking about the Bombers and how they're travelling, and here's an opportunity for them to probably think, hey, we're a sniff potentially. Against a side that's not travelling great, we might be a chance here today. So I reckon we should see some open footy.
David, did you catch the Giants banner just a short time ago?
It's another beauty from the Giants and their social media team. Their banner says today, Essendon, strengths, blank, weaknesses, 7,916 days. Of course, since they last won a final.
That's going to upset a few people. Is he not allowed to write anything bad about anyone?
The Giants get away with it because everyone knows what they're all about. That is very clever.
That's very good.
We'll get a feel for conditions boundary side as well with Phil Pryor, who is down there for us. Good afternoon, Phil.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. And that is pretty spot on what the experts were alluding to moments ago. Sunny and 20 degrees, albeit the temperature has dropped marginally in the last 15, 20 minutes down here. Not much breeze to speak of. Cracking footy conditions. We felt winter arrive the last couple of days in Sydney, but those awesome autumn conditions are back. We should have a clear run through to the finish line too, and no late changes. So let's rip in.
Excellent. Thank you, Phil. Toss one by Andy McGrath, and the Bombers will kick to the scoreboard end. That's the left-hand side of your radio dial or ABC Listen app. Final thought, Pebs, Sato?
Oh, look, like Sato mentioned, I think Essendon will come up here think they're a chance. So hopefully that's they come and play with some confidence and obviously a lot better than what they have. But the Giants, for me, this is a must-win. If they don't win this game, really, you could put a line through their season.
Well, there's 4 teams below them. They being West Coast, Carlton, Essendon, Richmond. So if they're the lowest of the possible, make something of their year, here's their chance.
No, absolutely. I think another big thing coming in this game, there's plenty of changes, both teams. Essendon have made changes, but I like the ends of Redmond and Parrish. Whereas the Giants have actually lost players that have been really important to them. Hogan's obviously a key forward. O'Halloran belts in, and Angwin's been really good on the wing, so a bit to cover for the Giants.
They get us underway here on ABC Sports Saturday Footy on the national broadcaster. You're with Daniel Garb.
And the Bombers have thrown the kids right into the middle. Roby and Sharp, their 2 first-round draft picks from last year. Starting at the first, ball up, and Peter Wright wins it convincingly down to Durham. Well tackled by Oliver. Squeezes the kick out, Durham, but Ash starting in the midfield as well, and a positional change for him. Gets hands to it and then lays a strong tackle on Roby. So that's been a move that Adam Kingsley has made in the last week or two. Lockie Ash thrown into the middle of the ground.
I don't mind it. Just gets, he's got a lot of run and carry, but can he add something different to his game?
Taken out of the ruck by Briggs. His kick down the corridor finds Stringer. He wheels and goes now. Deep forward, 2-on-2. Riccardi was held. Redmond there got the better of Cadman, bursting off the back line there. The Bombers with numbers mopping up, and it does come wide beyond defensive 50. Missed by Peter Wright. Overrun down there by Jackson Pryor. Buckley puts the Giants back inside forward 50, and in the contest, Cadman with a one-hander on Blackiston. Can't control it. Blackiston with a hand pass. In fact, dummies the hand pass and now gets it off. They'll try and rebound here again. The Bombers through Archie Roberts. It's out of bounds here for a throw-in. Deep inside attacking 50 for the Giants. And no score so far inside these first 60 seconds.
Riccardi's an interesting in for the Giants. Obviously with Lekalia and Hogan out, he'll be able to fill the forward role that Hogan leaves not playing, and Lear is the second ruck. Riccardi can do.
Briggs wins the tap. Spills free to Bedford. Blackiston lays a strong tackle and wasn't caught high was Bedford, so a very good tackle by Blackiston. And we'll have a ball up, right forward pocket for the Giants. Merritt and Callaghan standing side by side. Briggs goes for the over the shoulder tap. McGrath gets hands to it. Farrow, and now they work it out looking for Roberts. It stays in. Durham wins the hard ball but turns it over to a former Bomber in Stringer. And young Gyson Sharp lays a strong tackle on him. So no score in the opening couple of minutes here at the Sydney Showground.
You can see the Giants are really putting pressure and forward. They've obviously, Kingsley said, we're going to bring the heat.
And try and rebound the football here, the Bombers. Comes wide here for Perkins. He was dumped with a big tackle on the wing. And we'll ball it up. Earlier at Docklands, the Swans beat North Melbourne by 8 points. Isaac Heaney had 3 goals and 24 disposals. We've got 2 Saturday night games coming up in Darwin and in Melbourne, the MCG tonight. As Merritt goes down the line, the former skipper does find Nate Caddy just forward of the wing. Bombers go inside 50, deep to the one-on-one. Down there again in the contest, Buckley with Langford, and umpires spotted a free kick for a hold, and it will go the way of the Giants defender and vice-captain. Still no score here, 2.5 minutes played. Saturday footy on ABC Sport, the Giants and the Bombers.
Buckley chips it short to Iden. And further wide to Himmelberg in the left back pocket. Guides it up the wing and finds young Harvey Thomas. He'll mark it and take a couple of bounces. A third bounce now for Harvey Thomas. Gets towards half forward. His kick though is scrappy. Straight at Blackiston. Picks it up off his shoelaces. And a couple of taps forward. They've turned it over though. Daniels with a strong tackle. Now Himmelberg. Oliver with the quick hands back to Thomas. Maybe too quick for him. The Bombers have won it back. Roberts got it to Sharp. And now the kick up to half forward. There's no Essendon player there at all coming to meet it. So the Giants, with so much time through Iden, are able to gather. He'll take a bounce in defensive 50 and share it with Buckley.
2 relatively new vice-captains at GWS as Buckley does come beyond defensive 50 and finds former captain Cornelio. Goes off the hand pass Whitfield. Pulled his kick a little early here on the logo. Made some work there for Briggs, who was brought to ground by McGrath. And the umpire says, give it to me for a ball up.
Are we going to call them GWS anymore?
Well, that's a conversation for later on. They are for the time being. We did see those comments of their chairman, Tim Reid, during the week about the future identity of that club. Does come down here on the members' side. Oliver laid the tackle down there on Durham, the 100 gamer today. Oliver tries again for the Giants, and so too Cornelio. It's locked in. Merritt extracts it now for the Bombers. As again, this time through Roberts, they go forward of halfway. And a tumbling mark taken by Perkins, just forward of the wing.
This is the important play for Essendon. They need to take a mark when they get into this front half of the field because they're pushing high and they've got to wait for numbers to get back in.
Go on the entry here. Getting back is Laverde. Speaking of former Bombers, and I saw him milling about with his former teammates before the game. He kicks across the goal mouth to find Harvey Thomas. The Giants are away out of defence.
Ash dropped the mark that he should have taken. Cop one high, though, from Blackiston, so he'll win the free kick, a left half back. Durham, 5 disposals early on in his milestone game. Up to 27 last week. They work it up to half forward now, the Giants, with Riccardi. He can take the mark and play on quickly. Toby Green's all alone in the pocket and marks in front of his opposing captain in McGrath. Runs around and drills one through. So the skipper with the first of the game for the Giants, Toby Green, who played a lot of this season in the midfield, starting up forward in this one. And he's converted. Giants 1 straight 6. Bombers yet to score. We've gone 5 minutes in the first. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
I'm just trying to figure out what how Essendon defending. There's so much space out there for the Giants. Like Cornelio had a lot of space playing wide and holding his width, but Toby Green had an absolute paddock there to work in. Like McGrath, I don't think is his direct opponent, but there's just so much space. So, and the Giants are also getting a lot of numbers back and plenty of free space in their back half, so they're able to generate that space. If the Bombers going to allow that much space, it's going to be in for a long day for them.
Yeah, well, it's easy ball movement, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The one before Toby Green, Jake Riccardi had a ton of space out in the wing as well. He hit the kick into Toby, so they fell down defensively, Essendon.
The voices of Jason Saddington and Ryan O'Keefe here on ABC Sport from the restart. Free kick paid Essendon's way for a hold on Dyson Sharp. Still just 18 years of age, the lad out of the Barossa Valley. Debuted in round 1 against the Hawks. Short kick to find 100-gamer Sam Durham. Onto his captain McGrath. Hand pass was spent early there by Mason Redmond. Loses it at what is now becoming half back for the Giants, half forward for Essendon. And now wrapped up holding the ball is Lockie Whitfield. So the Bombers survive.
Just not sure what that handball tries to achieve anyway, Pebbles. You just get the kick in, you're going to get the same result.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes played. Giants 1 straight 6.
Again.
Bombers get the score. Merritt gives the hand pass off here again as a flying shot on goal. Absolutely superb. Merritt found the option, and it does come from Mason Redmond, one of the 6 inclusions for the Bombers.
That might be one of his strengths. And Merritt's mightn't be their long kick strength.
Cool. Not a known strength of Mason Redmond's to kick goals, but the Bombers level things up here at 1 straight 6. 7 minutes played in the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
I'll stop. I mean, it was an outside handball to Redmond, who was on a harder angle that was just going to hit it in. But I mean, obviously it was a play to give it to the good ball user that's going to kick the goal. So I'll take it all back.
Yeah, it's interesting though, when Essendon, they're going to have to be a little bit more patient when they are go forward and not try and blaze away, because the Giants are doing really well. Like Laverde and Buckley are playing the back shoulder and dropping back, getting extra numbers behind the ball.
Nice goal from Mason Redmond, just his 3rd game of the season. And Dyson Sharp running everywhere with Clayton Oliver. He's on all-Australian pace at the moment in terms of his season. Oliver's won the ball in the middle of the ground, so a nice education for the youngster. Gives it to Green, and that's a sharp kick. Coming out to meet it strongly is Jake Stringer against his former club. He would have been relishing this. Reading between the lines when he joined GWS, there's a bit of bad blood with Essendon.
Spent 7 years there, which feels like more than I remember. Jake Stringer.
Yeah, it's a premiership player with the Dogs, but didn't feel like he left on the best of terms. So,
for the Dogs or both?
Maybe both, but certainly when he left Essendon for GWS. Here's Stringer, 52 out straight in front. Poor kick. They might miss everything it does. Don't see that very often from the package. That's a bad hook. 1 straight 6 apiece. 8 minutes gone in the first.
It was too easy a set shot. He likes it a bit more difficult than that, doesn't he, Garvey?
Get to your texts as we go. 0437 774 774. Earlier at Docklands, the Sydney Swans beat North Melbourne by 8 points. I mentioned still to come Gold Coast v St Kilda and Darwin, and Geelong and Collingwood at the MCG. This kick goes out of bounds on the full. So this will be just an awful error down there from Zach Johnson. So
smothered.
It was smothered. So it goes out of bounds here for a throw in. Phil Pryor on the boundary.
It's Josh Kelly, none other than the injured Giant, that's delivering the messages from upstairs in the coach's box down to the players. And Toby McMullen, I reckon there's a role for him when he gets out there, because there's been plenty of talk to him.
Durham can blaze away off half-back here for the Bombers. Goes long down the corridor. Little bounce and skid wide there of Ide. We get some pressure down there from Nate Caddy. Shrugs the tackle, and now I'll flare it wide from half-back as it's marked by Laverde. It's the hand pass off Himmelberg. Goes boundary side now for Cornelio. On that members wing, he'll retreat all the way back towards the D50 for Buckley. And now a little straighter here for Lockie Ash, and he shows some dash off half-back.
And sends it out wide for Fonte. Overcooked it though, so he missed the mark, and Cox came out to meet it for the Bombers. Moved it forward to Jaden Ewan, who was potentially taken down by Harvey Thomas. Umpire says play on. And Thomas with a good second effort. Jaden Ewan, who made his debut in Sydney at the end of last season against the Swans. This city will be memorable for him.
That's a horrible unforced error by Lockie Ash, and that's probably a criticism on his game, his ball use. He turns the ball over way too much for a player of his ability.
It's a fair call. He missed the mark on the kick as the Bombers go inside 50 through Perkins. Good work by Laverde, opposed to May. And May with a good second effort on Buckley, wraps him up. So a ball up, inside attacking 50, 35 out directly in front from the Bombers goals, one straight 6 apiece, 10 minutes gone in the first.
Up it goes, Briggs down to Oliver, hurried kick, clears defensive 50, and marked out there by Phoenix Goffard. Of course, debuted an opening round, kicked a couple of goals last week against the Gold Coast Suns at Carrara. From the outer wing, Stringer sends them forward here, the Giants. Wide, and it's marked by Riccardi, 55 from goal. They're all streaming forward again here. One straight 6 apiece. Early on at the Sydney Showground. Riccardi goes deep towards the pocket, and now Blackerson had a hold down there on Grajewski. And it will be a Giants free kick at left full forward.
Well, Jake Riccardi be licking his lips going, how good's this? I've come in out of the VFL and I don't have an opponent going anywhere near me at present. He's getting a lot of space up forward. When the Bombers turn the ball over and the Giants come running out, he's just finding himself free. He'd be a very happy man right now.
Oh, they all are. There's so much space. I'd love to be a forward out there. You'd be dining tonight because there's just no defender going anywhere near you.
Those two guys both out of the VFL. So Max Grajewski has the free kick. He kicked 4 goals in the twos last week. Max Grajewski opens up the angle with a snap in the left forward pocket and bangs through their second goal. GWS at 2 straight 12, Essendon 1 straight 6. 12 minutes played the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport with Jason Saddington and Ryan O'Keefe.
If you're a team that's struggling and doing, I think you really just need to get back to basics. Like, you make it a more one-on-one, more gritty game. Like, you can have all these, like, the modern game and fancy game plans, but if you can't defend or win the ball or get the ball into a contest, you're no chance. And when you play against good teams, they just slice you to pieces. So it just seems that they just got no real defence mindset at all.
Well, Parrish, Merritt and Durham now in the middle for the Bombers after Roby and Sharp were there for the opening 5 minutes or so. Here's Nick Bryan in the ruck, opposed to Riccardi. Giants win it again. Green with a handball to Callaghan. Shares it with Oliver. But don't argue from Toby Green. The crowd like that. And bounds away. He's turned it over, though, by foot, looking for Cornelio. Well done by Nick Cox. Back in the team after struggling with concussion issues. The former first-round draft pick. Took the mark and gave it to Merritt. Short to Langford. Bombers a couple of kicks from goal. Giants up by 6 points. 13 minutes in the first. So Langford guides it inside 50. It evades everyone in the contest. Sweeping back there is Thomas for GWS. Give it to Whitfield. And he chips it back across his own defensive goal line and finds Iden.
And now Harvey Thomas under pressure. Run down from behind. Great forward pressure it was by Dersma, who wraps him up and wins the free kick for the Bombers.
Well, their own worst enemy at the moment, the Giants. They're probably the ones that give him Essendon the opportunity. Shots on goal with poor kick turnovers. At that time, Harvey Thomas just thought he had too much time and space and got run down. So, I mean, great work. That's what you got to do as the Bombers. If you're there, you got to chase down, put pressure on. But Harvey probably just needed to clear the ball out of that T50.
Well, it just shows when you put pressure on and a bit of defensive effort, you're in the game and you can turn the ball over. But if you're not going to put any defensive pressure on, it makes it really, really hard.
Xavier Dersma crosses the 50. Lines up here for Essendon's second. Set shot looked pretty good. Bombers fans salute that one. Scores back level, 2 straight 12 apiece. 14 gone in the opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. His Brisbane oppo analysis was bad decision making. That was pretty good, wasn't it? That tackle from Xavier Dersma.
Well, you don't really have to make a decision on that. In defence, he's go, I tackle, and then I just got to kick it between the big sticks. So there's not a good decision. It's decision where
went to drop punt too. Good decision. There wasn't around the corner.
I'll give that. Well done. Good decision there. Well done. But that's what I think is forward pressure. Turn the ball over as close to your own goal as possible. Not try and generate all your attack out of your back half. That makes it a lot easier, and it puts less work rate you need to do because you put the work in early rather than later.
The Dersma strikes for Essendon, 2 straight 12 apiece. Early stages of the first. Sharp wins the clearance. Gets it to Parrish. Tumbling ball inside 50 again for Essendon. Himmelberg came out to meet it, didn't connect properly. And they win it back at centre-half forward through Sharp once more. Gets it back to Parrish. Just throws it on the boot. That's what Bombers fans bemoan when it comes to Darcy Parrish. Not clinical enough with his possessions, that he's turned it over to his former teammate in Laverde. Sends it up to the wing over the head of Cadman. Gothard's there. Gave it back to Cornelio, who evades Langford. Handball back to Leake, and he can chip it to Whitfield just outside defensive 50.
Two-time fairest and best winner Whitfield across the half-back line now for Himmelberg. Fires a hand pass for Oliver. Evades the tackle there of Dyson Sharp. Ball comes back to Oliver. Wide to Iden. And almost run down. In fact, shrugs the tackle there. Lost the ball in the Archer May attempted tackle. And then the ball comes loose at left half-back for the Giants. Trying to tow it forward down there. Caddy for the Bombers. And it's locked up at right half-forward for Essendon. So we'll ball up.
They've done it again.
This is horrible.
The Giants, they've done it again.
Well, it's not
fighting pressure.
It's not how many possessions we can get is going to win the game. Like, that's just absolute terrible attacking ball moves.
2 straight 12 apiece. Coughed up there by Oliver. Tunnel ball there gathered by Finn Callahan. Handball goes nowhere, only as far as Dyson Sharp. Up against that boundary line, the Bombers go back inside attacking 50, and umpire spotted a free kick for a hold, and it will go the Giants' way. In fact, so you can hear the chagrin there of the Bombers fans behind the goals at the scoreboard end. Whitfield gets the hand pass from the free kick receiver at Laverde and then wastes the kick out of bounds on the full. At what is now left half forward for Essendon. 2 straight 12 apiece, 17 gone in the opening term.
They're falling into the same trap at home. That happens so often, GWS. Teams apply the pressure. They can't exit defensive 50. Pryor sends it deep into attack for Essendon, who have started ever so well. Leaks handball, put a teammate in Himmelberg under pressure. And then the Bombers lock up Riccardi and lock it again. Inside attacking 50 for a ball up.
It's the unforced errors. They're not really getting pressure. They're just poor skill at the moment.
It's just a reluctancy to kick the ball into the front half.
2 straight 12 apiece. Sorry, Jason Saddington. And that's a free kick to the Bombers. 30 out, straight in front against Toby Green. And it'll go the way of Dersma. He can kick it his second in the space of a couple of minutes.
That's just what I find interesting at the moment, the Giants. They are, with their ball movement, they're just trying to handball too much and go sideways through the back half rather than getting the ball forward. What they've found that's worked for them through this quarter is when they do actually get that ball, kick it forward into the front half. I'm not sure why they're reluctant to do that on occasion. If you're Cadman and Stringer ahead of the ball, you're saying, just kick it, boys.
Oh, it'd be so frustrating if you're a forward and everyone, they're going handball happy.
Xavier Dersma for his second goal of this first term to put the Bombers in front. He has got it. He is on form early on, Xavier Dersma. A couple of big defensive efforts inside attacking 50. The rundown tackle on Thomas, and then wins the hard ball and draws the free kick from Toby Green. Converts on both occasions. Essendon 3 straight 18. GWS 2 straight 12. 18 gone in the first.
This is great from the Bombers. They're making the most of their opportunities. The ball's getting in their front 50. They're trying to put the pressure on. And when they get the chance, they're making the most. They're kicking the goals here. Good start with a couple of goals, Dersma.
It's good. They're making the Giants pay for their poor ball use.
That's what you should do.
And exactly right. That's why I think that game style doesn't stand up when you play against good teams. And, let's be honest, Essendon aren't the greatest teams, but they're making them pay, which is good on Essendon.
The Bombers have the lead here for the first time this afternoon. Restart back in the middle. And Briggs follows up here at ground level. and can't get a hand pass away. So it's balled up. Nick Bryan into the ruck now against Kieran Briggs. Briggs came back in last week. The injury to young ruckman Nick Madden. And now there was a hold there from Bryan on Briggs. Giants free kick advantage paid to the umpire. They go forward to half forward. And it bounced out of play here. Just shy of the 50-metre arc. So last disposal means it's Essendon's ball with Blackiston at left half back for the Bombers. 6 points their lead.
Told to play on. He got around the Cadman tackle far too easily. Sends it up to the wing. Iden with the punch. The ball will stay in. Thomas lost his footing. Pryor gathered it. Just grubbers one towards half forward. Clean pick up by Perkins, who wheels around, sends a high one inside 50. Peter Wright trying to win front position. Leake should have marked that. Went the double fist punch. But they're all at sea at the back at the moment, the Giants. Perhaps didn't get a clear call. Easily taken that grab and instead we'll have a throw in inside 50 for Essendon once more, who lead by a goal.
That's a clear sign of a club that's playing with no confidence.
They've not won back-to-back games, the Giants, since the final 2 rounds of last season. Of course, even if they win today, it wouldn't be back-to-back games. So they lost last week to the Gold Coast Suns. Callaghan spins through traffic, hand pass over his shoulder. Gathered here for the Bombers and Archer Day Wicks. Gets it back now for Jackson Pryor. Loads up, deep to the hot spot here for the Bombers. Peter Wright couldn't mark it, missed Briggs. Slung to ground sharp. Ball picked up by the Giants in defence. It comes to Thomas and now Ash just thumps it on his boot beyond defensive 50. Blackiston held Cadman. Umpire said play on. And now lays the tackle on Bryan. Does Cadman. So we'll ball up at right half back for GWS. It's the Bombers who lead by 6 points here. 3 straight plays, 2 straight. 21 gone in the second, or first term in fact.
Bryan with the tap down to Parrish. And then gets it back, does Nick Bryan. Another one inside 50 for the Bombers. Laverde against his former club does really well defensively. Works it out to McMullen on the ground now. He's tumbling ball. Bounces a couple of times on the wing. And then he's gathered by Zach Reid. Has Farrow in support. Another one of those first-round draft picks from last year in the side for Essendon. That's the free kick that'll go the way of May. It's against McMullen. A holding without it. So Essendon dominant in this first quarter. 12 inside 50s to 5 and up by a goal. And they switch it now. Does May to Dyson Sharp, who can take the space and go into attack again for Essendon. Bryan wins front position, doesn't take the mark. Iden mops up, gives it to Thomas, but again they're under pressure, exiting defensive 50.
Desperate kick from Thomas, bounces wide of Cadman. That will be out of bounds. So last touch Giants. Essendon ball with Blackiston just forward to the wing.
Just can't find a way out. The Giants on
the half volley. Dangerous situation for Mason Redmond. Going to kick their first goal of the game. They'll flare it all the way across the half-back line now. And again, this time with Archie Roberts, it comes forward. Roberts wants the give back from Darcy Parish. Receives it now. Ball to play on. And flares it further wide still. The outer side for Archie Perkins. Comes in ball to find Dyson Sharp. Essendon lead by 6 points here. 22 gone in the opening term at the Sydney Showground. Chipping it around here with Archie Roberts in the centre circle. It's called to play on. Now goes straight down the corridor. Peter Wright leads up and marks. And controls the ball right in his breadbasket. And he'll take a set shot here from 45 out, almost directly in front. Peter Wright.
I spoke about Essendon's defensive structure. The Giant, they're refusing. They're playing this zone defence, but no one's picking on anyone. And Essendon were just really patient. They just kept picking off little chips here, little free players, and then space open up for Big Pete to go through. But the Giants aren't putting any pressure on either now. This could be like a shootout, a baseline tennis match. Both teams just going to go back.
So 2-metre Peter looking for a 2-goal lead here for the Bombers, and he misses to the left-hand side. Essendon by 7. 3-1-19. The Giants are 2 straight 12. 23 gone to the opening term on Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Inside 50s, 14-5. The Bombers dominant, and again, some problems. Working the ball out of defence for GWS. Whitfield does find McMullen, and that's a good kick to Buckley. Now they can get going. Buckley marks on the wing, sends it over the top to Gothard. He's got space. He'll have a bounce. Little Phoenix Gothard. The kick is a higher one on the top of Brent Daniels. Daniels gathers it nicely once the ball hits the ground. But the Bombers win it back. Sharp to Parrish. That's not the smartest kick. But Perkins did well. Now they can move it up to the wing, and Peter Wright on his knees is able to mark it. And they've avoided any sort of issue there defensively as Wright goes back to Reed, and now Blackiston. They look composed at the moment, Essendon. GWS quite the opposite.
Well, switchback members side here, the Bombers, as Blackiston finds Jackson Pryor. And now Bryan marks in space. Nick Bryan, one of those 6 inclusions today. He returned recently. The fact that his ACL gathered around last year, so returned, of course, in the side today. He's kicked towards half forward. And marked by Sullivan Roby. Called a play at left half forward. Goes to the hot spot now for Peter Wright. Spoil does calm down there from McMullen. At the drop, Whitfield. Hand pass back to Ide on that last line for the Giants. Oliver gets involved as well. And Clayton Oliver can send that kick back to centre-half back, where it's marked by Lockie Ash. Essendon keeps a 7-point lead here.
Ash gives it to Callaghan, and now Briggs under pressure. You gave it to the ruckman, Finn. What was that for? Well done by Fonte. Wins it at half-back. Now Callaghan can get it back, and they're in space. Tucks it under his arm, gets moving, handball over the top to Bedford. He's 50 out, decides to pass instead of shoot. Stringer's there, guides it down nicely, Stringer. Roves his own work and converts against his former club. He'll love that, Jake Stringer. Fantastic strength, just guided it down on his own from the contest, and then snapped truly. And the Bombers' lead is cut back to a point. They're 3-1-19, GWS 3 straight 18.
They made that hard work, though. Like, watching that, like Finn, the overused handball to the ruckman, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing giving it to the ruckman? And then that last bit of play, the forwards, the Giants forwards, what they're doing is they're looking for the ball over the back. Someone needs to come at the ball carrier. Like, Stringer really had so much space. He could have let up taking an easy mark, but he's made it very, very difficult. Lucky just like a little bit of individual brilliance, but it didn't need to be that.
Yeah, I think sometimes what happens too, when you get that extra handball and it pulls the forwards, they've already made the lead, and then all of a sudden there's another handball and they've got to backtrack and it pulls you out of position a little bit. But good finish. Stringer wants it one-on-one. That's what he got in the end.
Jason Saddington, Ryan O'Keefe, Saturday for you on ABC Sport. Merritt with a hand pass from the restart. Onto it now goes Archie Roberts. His kick inside 50. A little too deep down there for Archer May. And now it's paddled towards the boundary line. Good bump down there from Archer Day Wicks on Lockie Whitfield. The ball goes out of bounds for a throw-in.
It's probably, to your point there, Sato, it's the forwards' movement is a product of how they play. So you give this extra handball, I'm not going to lead because they're stuffing around it up there. So it's probably just the product of their environment.
Back in it comes. Briggs in front of Wright. Hand pass Oliver. Hurried ball kicked away by Daniels. Goes onto the chest of Mason Redmond. Back at the Bombers on the members' wing. To Sam Durham. Called a play on, didn't go 15. Does go inside 50. At the drop, the back of the pack here. Leak, and now Bucket can clear for the Giants.
Up to the wing. Blackiston did well opposed to Cadman. Won that contest. Sent it back to Redmond. He was taken down by Bedford and wins the free kick on the wing. Bombers by a point.
Probably did well there, Redmond. If he had taken the footy, he would have been tackled. He just sort of tapped it out, knowing the tackle was going to come get the free kick.
27 minutes gone in the first term. Jason Saddington and Ryan O'Keefe, your experts on ABC Sport, as Roberts sends it out wide to Reed, and again the Bombers just happy to chip it around.
This is where the Giants got to press up and number off so they can't play this game.
Giants sitting off them. Back to Roberts again. That's a really nice kick. Finds Dersma, who's kicked 2 in this first term.
Just racking and stacking Roberts up to 12. I mean, he's been winning a lot of footy all year, but all in the back half at present.
He's a good user. Dersma, high ball now inside 50, coming out to meet it is May. They fall on the football, and we'll have a ball up. 35 out from the Bombers' goals directly in front.
It's 2 different game styles in it, Pebs. The Bombers, they're happy to chip it around a little bit, as the Giants are just trying to run and handball, get themselves in trouble. Essendon look more in control and composed with the game at present.
28 minutes played, Essendon by 1 point. Oliver, harried hand pass off to Cornelio, pushed off the kick. It goes high towards half back, and it's been marked down there by Xavier Dersma again. This time he's 45 from goal on a 45-degree angle. Going to add to his 2 majors so far this afternoon.
Yeah, I'll be going back having a shot too. I've already kicked 2.
Yeah, I know.
Why not have a third? It's a good quarter of footy.
It's interesting way the 2 contrasting attacking styles. What Essendon's style does, a little bit more measured, if you turn it over, it's not as much fast break. With the Giants, you turn it over, bang, it's hard to defend behind. So both teams, there's plenty of space for them, but it's who's going to cause the most turnovers, really.
Giants on the back foot early. Dersma lets fly from 50 for his 3rd goal. misses left-hand side. Not quite the third goal inside the opening quarter for Xavier Dersma. Essendon out by 2 points. 3-2 plays 3 straight. 29 minutes played in the opening term.
He's having a big quarter, though. Just reminding the AFL that he's not the only Dersma running around. His brother, of course, making a big splash and the hot favourite for the Rising Star. Here's Lockie Ash. Dashing away from halfback as he so often does for the Giants. Through the middle of the ground. High ball inside. 50. Riccardi with a leap in the mark. Very good grab. He was 4 deep there, Jake Riccardi. Not enough body contact perhaps from the Bombers defenders, and Riccardi will have a shot from 40 out, pretty much straight in front.
That's when Lockie Ash is at his dangerous. He runs, breaks the line, and then it's long to advantage. Like it's pretty much a much better way for him to move the ball and kick the ball when he kicks it long to advantage rather than trying to hit some short option.
Riccardi to give the Giants back the lead on the stroke of quarter time. He is converted. Great grab and the finish from Jake Riccardi. And the Giants will go into quarter time with a narrow lead. They are 4 straight 24. Essendon 3-2-20. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
It was tough for the Bombers defenders there. I think you mentioned Garby in the call, though. They probably lost contact on Riccardi, who was able to get a free jump at it. But it was off the back of the fact that Lockie Ash was able to stroll through the middle of the ground and probably wasn't enough pressure on him. He was able to take that extra 20 metres, which allowed that kick to get over the back where Riccardi had the running jump.
Well, it's important for Riccardi to have a good game, really. He's coming to the side.
Contract year as well.
Yeah, contract year. He should be jumping out of his skin and flying for everything.
Kicked 3 goals in the derby and he got dropped. So
it's a role he's had as that forward second ruck, and he gave it up for Lecalier, so it is a big game for him to say, that's my role.
They start back in the middle. Listen to what the clearance here. Dersma, beg your pardon, Durham run down by Callaghan on that quarter-time siren. And that is all she wrote for the opening half an hour here at the Sydney Showground. So the Giants 4 straight 24. Essendon 3-2-20. Goals in that opening term to firstly Toby Green, Max Krajewski, Jake Stringer and Jake Riccardi for the Giants, while for Essendon 2 goals to Xavier Dersma and Mason Redman has the other. Earlier, the Swans beat North Melbourne by 8 points at Docklands, 16 on 105 to 14-13 on 97. Isaac Heaney had 3 goals and 24 disposals. Luke Davies-Uniacke led all comers with 34 touches for the Kangaroos. And coming up later on tonight in Darwin, Gold Coast v St Kilda or at the MCG, Geelong and Collingwood. Of course, you can hear either of those games via ABC Listen on either our ABC AFL or AFL Extra button. The Giants by 4 points here at the Showground across ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Listen. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
A tray of cocktails floated at us through the twilight. Who was this Gatsby fella?
A jazz-soaked reimagining of The Great Gatsby.
That's the best thing a girl can be in this world. A beautiful little fool.
Search for Gatsby in Harlem on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
They work it up to half forward now, the Giants, with Riccardi. He can take the mark and play on quickly. Toby Green's all alone in the pocket and marks in front of his opposing captain in McGrath. Runs around and drills one through. There's a skipper with the first of the game.
Merritt gives the hand pass off here again as a flying shot on goal. Absolutely superb. Merritt found the option, and it does come from Mason Redman.
Now Callaghan can get it back, and they're in space. Tucks it under his arm, gets moving, handball over the top to Bedford. He's 50 out, decides to pass instead of shoot. Stringer's there, guides it down nicely. Stringer roves his own work and converts against his former club. He'll love that, Jake Stringer. Here's Lockie Ash, dashing away from halfback as he so often does for the Giants. Through the middle of the ground, high ball inside, 50. Riccardi with a leap in the mark. Very good grab. He was 4 deep there, Jake Riccardi. Riccardi to give the Giants back the lead on the stroke of quarter time. He is converted.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Giants lead by 4 points here, quarter time at the Sydney Showground. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Gard to call the action. Our experts are Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington.
Well, it was early up. The Bombers probably capitalised early in that quarter on Giants turnovers and some sloppy free kicks, which allowed them to hit the scoreboard. And the Giants are pretty wasteful with the footy. But in the back half of that quarter, Pebs, I thought the Bombers controlled the play. They were happy to just sort of chip it around a bit. Giants had Laverde mainly dropping off, so they had the extra number back there. But Essendon were happy to sort of chip it around and wait for the right option, which we saw once when Peter Wright then got some space and let up at the footy, and they got shots on goal. And they made the most of some good opportunities. Essendon hit the scoreboard. In the end, though, they probably, with the inside 50s they had, they probably should have had a couple more goals on the board and put the Giants under a bit more pressure. Because on the flip side, when the Giants did go in the front half, and especially inside 50, which was only 8 times, they kicked 4 goals. So if you're the Giants coaching staff, you're saying, hey, boys, let's get it in the front half and get it inside 50 a bit more often, because I think we're going to get an advantage. 2 different game styles happening. Giants happy to run and gun. I think you look at the stats, they're almost equal with kick to handball, whereas Essendon, it's a lot more kick mark and a lot less handball in their game. So 2 different styles of footy. Essendon probably had more of the opportunity through that quarter, and they'd be pretty happy with what they're able to put out there.
Yeah, look, I totally agree with what you said there, Sado, and the contrasting attacking styles. Essendon are a lot more patient. They want to find that free, but both defences are playing this zoning loose defence. They're not putting much pressure on all. So Essendon can play that style because the Giants aren't pressing up and numbering off, and the Giants are happy for Essendon to almost march the ball up the ground and then try and intercept it in their back half and then generate their attack out of their D50. Where the Giants are their handball happy. I just don't like that style, to be honest, because it doesn't stand up under pressure. It doesn't stand up in the finals. And you saw when they actually took territory and went forward and kicked, they were dangerous. They scored.
Yep.
The handball, they turn it over all the time. Like the prime example, when Finn Callahan gives it to the ruckman.
Yep.
But then once he got it and they end up kicking it, they score. So
they just can't quite find the balance in the game.
Yeah.
They handball when they should have kicked, and sometimes they kick when they need to handball. Because they do. I mean, the Giants do. They double down on this run and gun game. They're caught sort of in between at present. They're not quite nailing it. And Essendon they need to punish them on that. They need to capitalise and make sure that they hit the scoreboard when the Giants do turn it over. Because when you look at the game as a whole, the team that looks still most likely to score more often is probably the Giants, because if they can pull it together, you feel like they're just going to be able to go through pretty quick.
I would hate to be Cadman or Stringer or Riccardi as a forward to the Giants. When they give that one and they give that extra. Because as a forward, you're owning the dangerous space, you're seeing what I want to lead into, and then you go, all right, I'm ready to go, I've got my opponent cooked here. Oh, there's another handball, and it's like, well, what are you doing? And that's what I said with Stringer. He could have easily let up and taken an easy chest mark, but he doesn't know what they're doing up ahead. So he sits there back, and their forwards are always waiting for this ball over the back because they stuff around a bit in their midfield of extra handballs. So the best one was when Lockie Ash broke some line, took it, kick along Riccardi, then marks goals. Prime example like that. So that they should be dominating this game because, yeah, you're right, they do look more dangerous, but they're just playing into this happy handball game. Doesn't give them forward entries, doesn't give them inside 50s, and when they turn it over, it's so hard to defend behind that teams can score against them.
Some numbers to quarter time. The Bombers have started well. Roberts with 12 disposals, a lot of chipping across half-back. Dyson Sharp, the first-round draft pick from last year, 9 touches, 6 of those contested. Durham with 9 in his 100th game. Oliver has 9 for the Giants. Here's Brett Sprigg on ABC Sports.
And up they go again. Briggs competes with Nick Bryan. Still waiting for a clearance. Callahan's hand pass to Oliver. Midfield was run down by Newen. Ball comes loose. Oliver picks up. He was pushed off the kick as well by Nick Bryan. Little nudge out there on the far side. Roby wins the footy back now for the Bombers. Parrish tries to use it by hand. His handball misses targeted Perkins. And now it sort of crawls towards left half forward. Merritt and Fonte see it over for a throw-in. Your texts remain welcome. 0437 774 774. Heather in Sydney. Strong text. She starts off very kind, very gentle for us. Thanks, ABC, for AFL coverage. Giants banner in capitals. Not clever, not funny. And she explains why. As Merritt gets the hand pass back here from Parrish and goes long towards the vacant square. Bounce wide of Iden. And then he receives a hand pass back here from Thomas. Desperate stuff here on the last line of defence of the Giants. Whitfield thumps it beyond defensive 50. It bounced up there for Cadman. Keeps it moving. Added some space. Bedford tracks it well. Almost lost his footing here as Buckerston arrives. Wins it back via pressure. Parrish puts the Bombers back inside 50 and leading up Peter Wright. Second bite couldn't grab it. Himmelberg mops up in defence for the Giants, and now Iden back to Buckley and they're away.
Good spoil down there by Laverde, the former Bomber. And Cornelio uses his body well, kept his feet. Well, Pryor fell to the ground. Gets support from Himmelberg. And now Oliver, he handballs to himself and has lost the handle on it. Merritt wins it back. 55 out. Sends it deep to the square. Caddy's down there. Buckley does some nice work on him and then gets some help from Fonte. They take it over up the boundary line, or is it a free kick? It is a free kick to Caddy.
What was that for?
Fonte came in, laid the tackle. I think it might have been for in the back. So Caddy with a chance to put the Bombers back in front from the right forward pocket. Kicked 3-5 last week, 15 for the season, and has not taken this opportunity. So perhaps a reprieve for the Giants, but the free kick did seem a little harsh. Essendon 3-3-21, GWS 4 straight 24. We've gone 2 minutes in the second term.
Very, very soft. That was nothing in that at all.
It was a free kick for a hold, but didn't take full advantage there, Nate Caddy. As Whitfield stepped into the right back pocket, goes on the outer side, through the hands out there of Zach Reed. Bombers send it back from whence it came, inside 50, reaching at the back, Whitfield from behind on right, and now Laverde with some support on the outside with Cornelio. Hand pass to Whitfield, he hurries his kick again, not for the first time in this game, out of bounds on the full from the usually reliable Lockie Whitfield.
To come back to the handballing when you should kick, I think Clayton Oliver's one of those players at the moment that's probably just looking to handball too often. He's had the 2 kicks, 9 handballs. He just needs to get on the boot sometimes, especially out of that stoppage.
His numbers are strong this season, though, Clayton Oliver. 5th in the comp for disposals, 7th for score involvements. Finally, he had Tom Green alongside him. As Essendon go deep into attack again, Himmelberg mops it up, gives it to Callaghan. He bounds away. There's a couple of bounces. As Callaghan and sends it up to the wing. Stringer in the contest opposed to Redmond. Hands in the back perhaps, but took the mark. He's got support with Ash. He'll chip it over the top. Goal in coming for the Giants because Toby Green has marked it in the pocket. With plenty of options in space, did Lockie Ash. Went for the skipper. And Toby Green should run around from 15 out, right forward pocket, and snap this through for his second.
I'll start talking. Toby will play on, so you have to cut me off, no doubt. It was big play, Callaghan.
Wait there. Toby Green on his left. Never in doubt. And the Giants lead. Jason Saddington is out to 9 points. 5 straight 30. Essendon 3-3-21. Toby Green has 2.
I knew it was coming, Garvey. I knew it was coming. But Finn Callaghan, he was able to run and get a bounce, which just allowed enough time for him to sit the kick up. Stringer had to come across and make up some good ground to make the 2-on-1, which he actually took the mark. So it was a huge, huge contest. And then once Stringer got that mark, they were off and through. Ash had space through the middle, and of course Toby, who'd pushed up high, he just stretched the ground back inside 50. It was a lovely kick from Ash, but the kick from Callaghan and the patience to just pop it up enough for Stringer to get across and make that one-on-one contest was huge.
Well, it's again, they've kicked. Yep. They've gone more kick, not handball. But Cadman had a really good lead, though. That bounce, if Finn actually looked up, Cadman had plenty of spaces to drop a nice, easy one on the lead.
Giants by 9 from the restart. Oliver off the deck to Finn Callaghan. Tumbled left foot kick onto the chest of Jacob Farrow. Intercepted at half-back here for Essendon. Just my point on Heather's texts, referencing the Giants banner earlier. That was a play on the Brisbane Lions Oppo analysis whiteboard. It had the strengths, blank, weaknesses, and Essendon's finals winning drought. So Heather says...
Were they facts, though? Has it been that many days?
7,000. Is that right? That seems like a lot.
It's 22 years this year.
Okay.
Last finals win in 2004.
Archie Perkins goes high inside 50. Strong leap up there from Caddy. Takes it 50 from goal on a tough angle in the right forward pocket.
He's looked good as a target. He's marked the ball strongly. I like it from Caddy.
Kicked 3 goals, 5 last week. Goes closer to home here. Right leads up. He can't grab it. It drops down there for Whitfield. The Giants can rebound off the fullback line. Cadman on his second bite of the cherry. Pulls it in here off the halfback line. Now goes down that members wing of the Sydney Showground. In best position, Archie Roberts spilled it into the path of Toby Bedford. His hand pass picked off by Blackiston. Bombers back away here as it's marked by Durham on that members wing.
Durham goes short to Roberts. Possession number 14 for him. That's a nice kick to Peter Wright. He uses it beautifully out of half-back to Archie Roberts. And just speared that onto Wright's big chest. Is marked in front of Laverde, and he'll go back and have a shot from 50 out, slight angle to the right.
He just wants to get involved, Roberts. Keeps working hard, keeps putting himself in the right position, and he's a beautiful kick of the ball, like all left footers are.
You just keep feeding him. I mean, that kick had to be absolutely perfect, and it was right to the right side of the chest for Wright to just angle out his opponent and take it on the lead.
They've thrown him into the ruck this season, Peter Wright, and it's sparked his form. Can he kick a major? That's a beautiful effort from outside 50. Never looked like missing. And the Bombers bring the margin back to 3 points. 4-3-27. GWS 5 straight 30. And that was perhaps their best passage of play. Roberts of half-back. Wonderful kick to the lead of Wright, who converts.
So is Roberts a player that you look at, Pevs, and go, well, should Toby Bedford as a player just maybe run with Roberts a little bit? Let's not let him have time on the ball so he can execute his kick, which is beautiful. Put a bit more pressure on and have Bedford run with him.
Yeah, look, definitely. He seems to be the one player for the Bombers that's giving him drive, metres gained. And I know the Giants aren't into sort of too many run widths or whatever it might be, but you've got to put pressure or stop someone who's actually, the catalyst for their attack. You've got to do something about it. You need a defensive side of your game if you're going to play finals.
7.5 minutes played, second quarter here at the Sydney Showground. In the middle, it's been spilled by Durham, gathered by Oliver, and he was dumped in a merit tackle, and it was a little untoward, so it's free kick Giants. As Toby Green, Jack Riccardi tumbles towards half forward, right with the defensive work for the Bombers. Durham's hand pass out in space for Farrow. Draws the player. We'll share it now with Zach Reed. And now they use that outer side of the ground here. Archie Roberts on that left peg, goes down the line here, and it's marked on that far side of the ground here. The Bombers can move the footy out here again as May goes inside forward 50 and finds Langford. So he marks 35 from goal, 45-degree angle. That was good chain that time from Essendon, and a chance here to regain the lead.
Well, it sure was. That player's free ahead of the ball, and I thought they messed up the kick inside 50 because Toby Green had actually pushed down as a mid to try and intercept that ball, but he did everything right, but try and spoil it in the end. Toby, he sort of tried to pop at the front of the contest and let the Bombers have the easy mark.
Cole Langford was called selfish by the Brisbane Lions on that whiteboard last week. Here he kicks from 40, and it's away to the right-hand side and misses. 4-4-27. They trail the Giants who are 5 straight 30. 9 minutes played, second quarter. Saturday 40 on ABC Sport. There aren't many worse things to be called, I reckon.
No, you can put goal kicking.
You guys are all married. It's tough,
Well, they put themselves under pressure here, the Giants. Himmelberg's kick to Iden misses the mark. And they've managed to work it over the boundary line, the Bombers, so they'll have a throw in inside attacking 50, trailing by just 2 points down to the boundary with Phil Pryor.
Yeah, it's been fascinating being immersed among the Giants fans down here. Fair to say frustration, which has been building up over time, it just continues to linger.
They lead by 2 points, but perhaps fortunate to do so. Essendon smashing the inside 50s, but have missed some easy shots as well, as Thomas's quick kick is marked by the opposing number 1 in McGrath in the middle of the ground. Goes short to Roberts again. No one near him. Possession number 16 coming up. And that laser of a left boot strikes it now. High ball, top of the square. Iden's back there. Is a free kick. And it's going to the Bombers. It'll be a shot from almost directly in front, going the way of Caddy. And Essendon should regain the lead.
Trying to work out what that's for.
I think it was a hold, so I'm guessing Iden was just trying to hold Caddy down because they had the extra number, Buckley, I think, coming across to try and keep Caddy out of the contest and let Buckley do his work.
He's got a tug on the jumper. Like, it's a little bit. Once you grab jumper and show that's a free kick. But he's been good as a forward target, Caddy.
He's having a good season. The new leader of this Bombers attack gives them back the lead. His first of the game. In Essendon, a 5-4-34. The Giants 5 straight 30, and with 27 inside 50s to 10, it is a lead the Bombers most certainly deserve.
Yeah, well, that's what gets it done. Way to numbers sometimes. You keep getting the ball in there, you're going to get more shots on goal, and that's the game at the moment. Bombers just get more looks at it. They're not always capitalising. It's not always neat, but they're just making the most of some opportunities. And Pebs, that's all you got to do sometimes. Just compete, make contests, put some pressure on.
Exactly right.
You get your chances.
Exactly right.
Free kicks, and
you put it more times in your forward 50, more chance of scoring. But the Giants, a bit of their Achilles heel. Sometimes they're exiting out of their back 50, and they're struggling again now. Well, they just can't get it. They're hacking it out there to Essendon, or they're trying to run and gun and turn over the handball.
Well, some Norm Smith medalist Ryan O'Keefe on ABC Sport in the ruck, Riccardi and right. Then it comes here for Dyson Sharp. Clearance through Merritt. High towards half forward. Leak goes to spoil down there on Perkins. Bombers have numbers all around the footy. Back to Roberts. Neat entry into the pocket, but Laverde gets up and he is paid the mark.
They're going to have to do something about Roberts, definitely now. He's their real driver. He's had 17 touches. He's absolutely tearing them.
With time and space too, that's the worry.
Laverde back to Fonte. Has room to bounce off fullback here for the Giants. Now comes back members side. Kozlowski wants to run and leap at the back. It's still a ball in dispute as it goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Western side of the Sydney Showground. It's the Bombers who lead 5-4-34. GWS a 5 straight 30. 12 minutes played, second quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Briggs back in the ruck for the Giants. Back in the team after that Madden injury. Snaps us down, looking for Oliver. Green's there, and Briggs wins it back and guides it towards half forward. Hannaford couldn't take it cleanly. Farrow taps it in front of himself. Here's Roby. He looks a prospect, doesn't he? Gets it to Johnson. Short to Merritt. That's barely 15. Umpire says it wasn't. Good call. Merritt gets support from McGrath and Johnson, though. Now Durham in game 100. He's turned it over. That's a bad mistake. Oliver's gathered it. Cadman won front position and guided it down to Hannaford. He's turned it over, though. Straight to Dersma, who kicked 2 in the first term. That's a clever kick, Xavier Dersma. Under pressure. Found Sharp on the wing. He moves it forward to another first-round draft pick from last year in Roby. Over the top to Durham. Game 100. Another poor disposal from Durham. Dribbles it inside 50. Langford out to meet it. Bombers still have possession. Now they've turned it over to Whitfield. Leak got his hands free, importantly. Back to Whitfield. And he can move it out wide, and they've got some space here, the Giants.
Nick Mullen waits for the bounce. It just slaps it back and play here for Cornelio. Otherwise would have been an Essendon ball with the Giants' last kick. Mullen gets in space now. Receives a Cornelio hand pass. Options down the line now. Riccardi takes the chest mark. He's still 65 from goal. Comes back infield to find, Whitfield. Wasn't meant to rhyme. He's still 70 from goal now. Goes long towards full forward. Cadman leads up in the contest with McGrath. And it goes out of bounds for a throw-in at the scoreboard end. That's right full forward for GWS. And they trail by 4 points. That's Essendon's lead. 5-4-34. The Giants are 5 straight 30. 14 go on second term.
They'll probably be happy with this. The Giants are rare inside 50 and they actually get a stoppage, so they get a chance to set up behind the ball a bit and a chance to get some front half footy for a moment.
And it comes. Briggs and Wright in the contest. Roberts dispossessed in the Briggs tackle. Again, they pile in from all angles and will board up.
Which you need, don't you, Peps? It gives the backs a bit of a spell and the mids having the transition. You just need a bit of front half footy for a while. Try and get the game back on your terms a bit.
Exactly right. You can set up behind the ball then.
Briggs down to Bedford in the right forward pocket. Just decides to kick to the hop spot. Top of the square. Riccardi with a big fly. He's given away a free kick. Could get near the footy, but unrealistic attempt is probably a fair call from the umpire. Now the Bombers can go. They send it out to Langford, who watched it closely. In fact, it's Perkins. Really good mark and kept running. His kick is over the top, though, of Caddy. Iden back there. Got it to Buckley. Needed to be quick, and he wasn't. Durham with a strong tackle. Back to Caddy. Bouncing ball from his kick. Favours Langford. Gets it to Sharp. Works it back to Parrish. Parrish off a step. Drills one home for Essendon. They're out to a 10-point lead. Buckley dwelled on it, and the Bombers have pounced.
Good pressure. Absolute good pressure. But yeah, there's been a couple of times out there tonight that the Giants players think they've got all the time in the world and they just go, lackadaisy here, and then Essendon gone bang. And again, you put pressure on the team, you turn it over, and they're making them pay. And their players up there like Caddy and that are getting really, really busy. So it's going to be this could be like a seesaw game, back and forth all day, really, the way both teams are sort of playing.
Phil, keep an eye on Jake Riccardi, who came down hard, as Garby described, from that big leap in the goal square. He was touching his lower back quite a bit and looks in some discomfort. So we'll keep an eye on him. He's stationed at full forward for the Giants at the moment as they trail by 10 points. It's the Essendon lead here at the Sydney Showground. Bryan flies against Briggs. Parrish had a path cleared for him. Hand pass off the deck. Toby Green wins it back here for the Giants. Tumbling ball inside 50. Out there first, Blackiston off to the captain McGrath. And he just pumps it back towards that member's wing. Only player there is Lockie Whitfield. He's their leading possession getter for the Giants. 16th disposal coming up. A kick towards the left forward pocket. A little deep down there for Cadman. Picked off again down defence by Nick Bryan. Hand pass goes out of bounds for a throw-in at left full forward for the home side. Essendon by 10 points here. 17 gone second quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Nervous feeling around the Sydney Showground. Giants fans wondering right now, might not be half time yet, but if we drop this one, what to be of our season? Briggs with a strong tackle inside 50. He's sharp, quick hands, turned it over there to Bedford. Blackiston takes the mark. He's been really good down back, and now Langford's won the free kick for a hold.
Oh, you can't give him 50 for that. Like, no one knew who the free kick was for.
And the free kick for that frustrating stand rule. So Langford...
No, Oliver, sorry.
Didn't hand it back.
Kick the ball away.
My apologies. So Langford marched to centre half forward. Essendon by 10 points. 17 minutes gone in the second term. And Langford's happy to send it wide to Zach Johnson. And he'll go back to Mason Redmond.
So Redmond goes closer to home now for Parrish. Attacking side of the centre circles. Umpire called him to play on. And now it's marked at centre half forward by Archie Perkins.
They're just picking him apart, Essendon. Giants are just playing this zone defence. No one's picking up anyone. And Essendon have been very patient and just picking him apart.
Game high 10-point lead here for the Bombers. Archie Perkins close for now on the mark. Good kick from 52, and this goes just about there. It's punched through on that last moment. So 11 points is the Essendon lead. Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Doesn't seem to be an issue with Jake Riccardi, but for Essendon, Jackson Pryor is getting some pretty intensive physio work on the left hip area down here.
Whitfield short to Iden. Right back pocket. Sends it up to the wing. Good contest there by Zach Johnson. Hannaford, though, wins the hard ball. Roberts intervenes, having a superb game. A rare turnover from him, though, to Leake. It's a strong mark taken on the wing from the Leake kick by little Jaden Ewan. Gives it to his captain in McGrath. Bombers up to centre half forward again. Coming out to meet it hard was May. Wrapped up well by Hannaford. Fair shout for holding the ball. Wasn't paid. Perkins wins it back. They poke it inside 50, the Bombers. Slapped away from Langford by Buckley. Iden's under pressure. Gets it free. Essendon players everywhere. Try and just burrow it forward. Spills out the back to Callaghan. And he can exit defensive 50 for GWS. One-on-one between Blackiston and Cadman. That's a really good battle. Cadman wins the free kick. Bronx cheers from the Giants fans. I'm enjoying that one. Cadman's presenting, and Blackiston's been really good all game.
Yeah, he's just playing pretty close checking on Cadman. He's not getting much space to be able to run and jump at the footy, and that's what you don't want to let Cadman do.
On his preferred left, Riccardi takes the mark. No, get a nudge there in the back of Nick Bryan, so the free kick goes back the other way now.
A nudge? You put two hands double fist into the back. That was so obvious.
So comes across the half-back line now for Parrish. He kicks out wide. He'll slide out there for Archie Perkins. 40 is one back here by Dersma. And now again they pile in on that outer wing of the Sydney Showground. A ball up. Essendon lead by 11 points here. 6-5-41, plays 5 straight 30 as we approach time on here in this second quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Finn Callaghan hands the ball back to the umpire. Nick Bryan wins it down. Paddle away there for Toby Green. Onto it now, Finn Callaghan goes blazing off the half-back line.
Gives it to Ash. Ash wants to share it back with Callaghan and does so now. He's brilliant to watch, Finn Callaghan. Found some space. High ball into attack. Cadman's there. Hannaford does the crumbing. Good defensive pressure by Essendon. They win it back. Dersma to McGrath and sends it out wide to Farrow. Excellent work, Bombers, under pressure to win that ball cleanly. Now they're happy to chip it around. Farrow back to McGrath. in his defensive goal square. And now wide to guess who? Archie Roberts. Possession number 19 coming up for him. 20 minutes gone in the second term.
Ball's just coming out of the Giants' forward line way too easy. Way too easy. For all the inside 50s, just getting exited straight away.
Roberts McGrath now a short ball back to Roberts, and now he finds Jaden Ewan.
There's not a lot threatening about those inside 50s either.
No.
Perhaps a lot of just kicked contest.
That left half back here for the Bombers. Ewan goes to the outer side. 3-on-2. Up goes Fonte, who was that loose man. Couldn't take the grab. Briggs in the contest with Bryan. Hand pass comes back here for Parrish. The Bombers are away towards half forward again. Leaping up and controlling the grab. Archer May played the mark. 45 out directly in front.
And there the other end, the Bombers tools are getting some good one-on-ones. That was a strong mark. But even if they're not marking it, they're bringing the ball to the ground. And at the moment, Essendon are getting good numbers to the fall of the ball. And if they're not winning it again, the Giants are winning. They're putting pressure on pretty quick. It's definitely working. It's putting the Giants under pressure. If you just keep turning up in that front half, you keep getting these opportunities. So they're playing the game well, Essendon.
Archer May, among the young guns who debuted last year, around 14. 6 majors so far this campaign. Kick from 52. Gives it everything. And straight over the goal umpire's head. The Bombers extend their lead out to 17. 7-5-47. The Giants have 5 straight 30. 22 minutes played in the second quarter as we approach half-time. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington.
That was a fair shoe. Good, beautiful. Absolute good finish. But 33 inside 50s to 14. Like, they're just getting it in there. And they've had 12 scoring shots off the back of that. So they're just playing a little bit more direct, a little bit more patient, and they're giving their forwards a chance to take marks inside 50 and have shots on goals. So, yeah, as I spoke before, the ball's not going into the Giants forward line very convincing, but every time it's going back out. But the Bombers are showing the Giants how to play the game at the moment.
Confidence is up.
And they're up by 17 points as we get close to half-time. They might send the ball inside 50 again. They do through Sharp. May's there once more, but Laverde takes a strong mark and plays on from right half back up to the wing. The Giants need the next one badly. We get close to half time. It bounces off Bedford. We'll have the throw in on the wing. A few Bombers in the media box that's not being used next to us. The emergencies. Thomas Edwards, Will Setterfield, the former Giant, and Elijah Saddis. Big smiles from them. Their team up by 17 points.
The VFL's tomorrow at Tom Wills Oval here at the Giants headquarters, and I think there's a few. I see a lot of those. They're just deemed it's going to be last disposal on the outer side, so it will be
Giants
ball. Yeah.
And we have to make Callaghan come all the way back from 40 metres. Bedford.
That's only Bedford.
Bedford, because he was closest to it.
It's a ricochet off the leg, like that's not a disposal though.
Those ones are a bit hard to understand.
Yeah, just throw it
Comes in board to find Lockie Ash as Newen gives chase. Ash flares it across to Buckley. Kick was too wide for him. So the Bombers have a big travelling party with the VFL squad playing tomorrow morning as well, just across the way here. Canelio goes all the way back to Laverde. He marks at left half back for the Giants. They trail by 17 points as we approach half-time. Himmelberg gets involved now. Had his 30th birthday yesterday, Harry Himmelberg. And now Laverde off to Ash, back point of the square. Into the bullseye now for Whitfield finds Ash, and now it spills for Daniels. Gets it back to Lockie Ash. Dummies a hand pass. Moves around to Archer Day Wicks and goes long inside 50 here for the Giants. Up goes Cabin. It was too deep for him. At the drop, the Bombers have numbers, and it's worked away. Back to Redmond at fullback. And he'll kick back this member's side beyond defensive 50. Caddy up and marking. Can't pull it down cleanly. Off the deck, Callaghan for the Giants. Shares it with Canelio. Fires a hand pass low for Daniels. Turns inside out there on Duursma. Sends it back to the hot spot now for the Giants. And now it's wrapped up. 15 out from the Giants attacking goal. Scoreboard end. It's Essendon to lead by 17 points. 25 gone second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
I don't think the Giants are taking a mark inside 50, Pebs. They just find it really hard to be able to hit a target.
Bryan tries to give it to Blackiston. Did he catch Gothard high? Umpire says no. Another ball up. 15 out from the Giants' goal.
Well, the thing is, Cadman the last couple of he's just sticking the one arm up. Like, he's getting under the ball.
Briggs goes the soccer off the air, and then Toby Green off the ground, straight in front. Mr. Sitter.
He could have grabbed it.
He's a big football fan. That's world football, Toby Green. He won't be happy with that finish.
I reckon Toby had the chance to grab his hands on it too and just nice, easy drop punt goal.
5-1-31 GWS. That's their first behind of the game. Essendon 7-5-47. A 16-point lead for the Bombers as we get close to half-time at the Sydney Showground.
And they're over Cooksey's kick here looking for Archer Day-Wicks. Giants win it back off half forward momentarily before Blackiston burst through. Combines by hand to Dyson Sharp, and now all the way back to Andy McGrath. And is on track for his 200-game milestone this year. 189 today for the new Essendon captain. Dangerous kick here. Blackiston couldn't pull it down there. Iden shares it with his captain, Toby Green. Up towards half forward. It's crumbed by McMullen, who straightens up on goal from 45 and hits the posts. Not quite the finish for the Giants and Toby McMullen. So Essendon still by 15 points here. 27 gone second quarter.
Off the hook there, the Bombers has had a couple of dangerous, tough kicks coming through the corridor that they overshot.
26 and a half gone in the second term as Pryor goes short to Redmond. Been one of their more impressive displays this season, Essendon. Looked like they turned the corner. And then disappointing losses on Anzac Day to Collingwood and big defeat by Brisbane last week has raised questions about them once more as Day-Wicks juggles this one over the boundary line. So we'll have a throw in. Left half forward for the Giants. They've put in an excellent performance to half-time in this one. I was called for this to be thrown back in. Perhaps it was too low or too short.
Not satisfied with the throw-in.
Oh, it's tough taskmaster, the field umpire.
Umpiring the umpire.
Yeah.
Players didn't seem to ask too many questions. Riccardi works his way to the front. Daniels with some tough tackling. Again, he's able to work it towards a teammate. Does so to Callaghan, who handballs it over his shoulder inside 50. Giants around the footy. Stringer kicked it into an opponent. Roby gathered it. It's a loopy hand pass by Merritt, but Durham did ever so well to win it. Got it to Newen. Giants converge on him. Newen bounces around what would be some tacklers. Gave it back to Pryor. High ball inside 50. Off hands. Giants at the fall of it. Whitfield doesn't gather it cleanly though. And May falls on Laverde. And now we've got a ball up inside 50 for Essendon. 35 inside 50s for the Bombers, only 18 for the Giants. And that's why Essendon lead by 15 points.
I love the dance steps of Newen in the middle. He's very evasive.
And it comes to Leak for the Giants. Throws it beyond defensive 50. It's marked by Cadman out at right half back.
Outnumbered ahead of the
ball to go now. Whitfield receives a hand pass and gets it back to Cadman. It was a little too wide though. Made him work for it. Riccardi back to Clayton Oliver. Middle of the Sydney Showground. Callahan's hand pass was slick off to Fonte. He gets goal side now. Still a long way from home. Up inside 50 for Stringer. Kept his feet there in the contest with Mason Redmond, and it goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Right alongside that right behind post for the Giants with just seconds left in this second term in the opening half. It's Essendon who lead by 15 points.
A little bit sometimes it's just a bit of luck they get through the Giants, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stringer one-on-one, he forgot to put the hands up.
And the Giants find something before half-time. Here's Thomas. Gets it to Goddard. Back to Callaghan. Left foot snap from Finn Callaghan is wide. It'll be a boundary throw in though, so another chance as we approach the half an hour mark of the second term for GWS to give themselves something to hang their hat on heading into half-time. Bombers lead by 15 points.
Umpire tosses it back in. Riccardi up in front of Peter Wright. Down to Dersma though for the Bombers, first hands to it. Now tumbles it beyond defensive 50. Langford was outnumbered. Got it away though to Caddy. And now striking a tackle, Zach Johnson. Keeps it moving by foot. Caddy goes again. Newen wasn't watching it. Ash was run down from behind by Archer Day-Wicks. Free kick Essendon at right half back, right on the half-time siren here at the Sydney Showground. So an impressive second term from the Bombers, who lead by that 15-point margin. 7-5-47. GWS who are 5-2-32. The goal kickers so far in this game. Dersma with a couple singles to Caddy, Wright, May, Parrish and Redmond. Meanwhile, for the Giants, the home side, 2 goals to their skipper, Toby Green. Singles to Riccardi Stringer and Rajewski. The Bombers by 15 points, as mentioned. 7-5 plays 5-2. Your experts here on Saturday Footy on ABC Sport are Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington.
Well, I would have to say the Giants' ball use is as bad as I've ever seen. It is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. Like, if they were playing a good team, no disrespect to Essendon, but Essendon is a young team and they're doing really... They'd be 10 goals down. Like, they handball when they should kick. They kick when they should handball. They're just all over the shop. The forwards don't know whether to lead at the ball or not. So, they're looking for this one over the back, and then Stringer doesn't put his hands up. But there's space. Like if you watch like a Jack Gunston, if one of the players was streaming, Gunston bang would be on the lead, bang, there'd be an easy mark on the chest, go back. But it is as bad as I've seen. They make it so hard on themselves. Like, the defenders are under the pump because the ball keeps going there because of these turnovers. That's their issue. Like, it's not their competitiveness and their work rate. You can see they're running super hard, but they're probably running so much harder and putting in so much more work than they have to because they're so poor when they've got ball in hand.
Yeah, they're all at sea with their ball movement.
It's horrible.
There's a lot of just trying to make things up on the spot. It's just looking for a handball that's not there. So that's when you're saying, Pevs, that's when they should be kicking the ball, when there isn't an option to handball, but they're still trying to find it. And other times they're thrown on the boot when they do have the handball.
Exactly right.
So they're all at sea in terms of their ball movement. And I mean, Essendon have been great. They've been trying to put the pressure on, and they're forcing some of those turnovers. And I thought that quarter especially, the Bombers controlled the back half pretty well. When the Giants did get through, they were able to hold up and win the ball back pretty easily and step it straight back out of the Giants inside 50. And when the Bombers were able to get in the front half, they were patient at times when they needed to be, which was great. And then they found the gap and they found the lead up. That's the way you got to play.
You can see Essendon have got a system when they got ball in hand. They go, okay, we don't have this firepower. We mightn't have this pace. So we're going to play a kick mark possession game and we're going to march the ball up and be a bit more patient.
Yep.
What lets Essendon down is that real competitive and there's no defence there. But at least they've got some system. They've got a zone defence, so they've got some system in their defence, and they've got a system in their attack. Where the Giants has got a zone defence, but their offence is like, let's just throw darts at the board and see what happens.
Yep. The other thing I like with Essendon too through that quarter is, when they did go inside 50, their tools look dangerous enough that they're going to make the contest. Ball hit the ground, they'll come in, they put pressure on. And they got their shots on goal from free kicks because the Giants defenders had to hold because they were under the pump. Or they'll get the numbers to the ball, they'll first to the ball, they'll get some free kicks that way, or putting enough pressure on the Giants to be able to get the turnover and get some shots. So, Essendon are doing really well with the game they're given. The Giants are giving the ball back, and they're making the most of their opportunities. They've had a heap of inside 50s, but they're capitalising. The only thing they'd be disappointed in is that they're maybe not another couple of goals up. I think the Bombers. Yeah. So, they go in with a lot of positivity, saying, boys, keep cracking in.
But they're 35 inside 50s, is it?
Yep.
Well, they're on track to have 70 inside 50s.
Which is huge. You're going to win a game of footy if you do
are. Totally. And then the Giants have only had 19 because they turn the ball over every time they get it between the arcs.
Yep. And I think what the Giants are missing too is, Stringer's the experience up there. Cadman's game's growing all the time. He's a dangerous player now. But outside of that, they're really struggling with options ahead of the ball. And they've got a lot of young players. Hannaford's up there, Phoenix Gothard. Some of their inexperience, McMullen, Krasevsky. They're players that we're not seeing much of because
the ball's 19 inside 50s. Like, as a forward, what am I doing when they're all playing a possession game and trying to rack them and stack them and look at their own stat sheet up the ground? As a forward, I'll be going, what are you guys doing? Get it into us.
Yep.
You look at their team and you ask, well, who gives them a spark? Who can break the game open? Callaghan obviously does. Ash's ball use can be questioned at times, but he's got the speed and he breaks lines. There's a lot of players who look pretty tired at the moment. Whitfield, Cornelio, Green.
Whitfield does look.
They look tired. They look, dare I say it, a little bit old. Some of their key players, and those are if this goes as it is right now, and Essendon wins and causes a massive upset, those questions are going to be asked in a big way throughout the week about the future of the Giants and whether they do have too many old and tired players.
The one saving grace I will say for the Giants, if you're a concerned Giants fan out there, I looked at the last time they went 3-6. It looks like they'll be 3-6. They were actually 3-7 in 2023. That was Adam Kingsley's first year in charge. They won then 11 of their last 13 games, on their way to losing the prelim by a point to the eventual premiers Collingwood. So they can turn things around, but the profile of that list is, as you say, Garby, is different now a few years on from 2023. Now it's Adam Kingsley's fourth year in charge. ABC News coming up. Your texts are welcome, 0437 774 774. Paul from Torquay, loving the call, gents. This sounds like a very blokey activity for a weekend. Moving pavers from one part of the yard to another for no particular reason. Love the diagnosis of the Giants' game plan. Give the listener a visual aid. Thank you, Paul, for that.
He might have had selfish on his whiteboard at home.
You know what you do? You know what you do? You move those pavers for no reason. You go, I need a beer now. I deserve to have a beer for doing that really pointless task.
Smart man.
Just remember, of course, it's Mother's Day weekend. So don't, look after the mums in the household, please, before you worry about yourself. 0437 774 774. Oswald, thank you for your text. And Grant, listening in Waterloo. Brett, Dan, Ryan, Jason, ABC AFL, top call as always, and he sent us here the academy score from the Giants earlier Saturday. Tassie?
Yeah,
yep. By 25 points there? So
yep, good win the boys. The girls had a win too.
Thank you, Grant, for your text. 0437 774 774. Earlier at Docklands, the Sydney Swans beat North Melbourne by 8 points to go back on top of the AFL ladder. Isaac Heaney with 3 goals and 24 disposals. Luke Davies-Uniacke had 34 possessions as well for North Melbourne. Coming up later on tonight, we'll preview the Geelong-Collingwood game, three-quarter time of this game. But that's at the MCG, where, of course, Scott Penderby plays game number 432 to equal Brent Harvey. Listeners through local radio Darwin, the Northern Territory, will head off to the game in Darwin, the Gold Coast Suns and St Kilda. So 2 games coming up tonight. Of course, you can hear either of those via our app, ABC Listen, either on the ABC AFL button or on ABC AFL Extra. Here at the Sydney Showground, the Giants trail Essendon by 15 points at the major break. And right now, it's time for ABC News.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Voting in the Farrer federal by-election is wrapping up as candidates vie for the historically safe coalition seat in southern New South Wales. Political reporter Isabella Tolhurst is at a polling booth in Albury.
As voting enters its final hour, a trickle of people continue to filter in to have their say in the Farrer by-election. The seat, held by previous Liberal leader Susan Lee, is under contest by One Nation and independent Michelle Millthorpe, as the Liberals and Nationals hold on to hope they can regain the seat. Here at the polling booth, there's a clear appetite for change. People who have previously voted for the coalition seem to be eyeing off One Nation, while others are voting independent after years of feeling like they've been taken for granted by the major parties. Voting closes at 6 p.m.
Australia has secured 4.5 billion litres of fuel that will be delivered over the next 4 weeks. 55 ships are on their way to Australia, but that is one less ship than last week's figures. Energy Minister Chris Bowen says he's confident there are adequate supplies en route.
We have 2.3 billion litres worth of diesel contracted to be delivered over the next 4 weeks, 783 million litres of petrol, 450 million litres of jet fuel and 940 million litres of oil. That's what makes up that roughly 4.5 billion litres of fuel.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has reflected on the country's multiculturalism during a speech at an event to mark the 125th anniversary of the opening of Australia's first federal parliament. The event was held at Melbourne's Royal Exhibition Centre, the same location as its opening in 1901. Mr Albanese says lessons from the first day of the country's democracy have held true ever since.
Australia is always at our best when we choose to lift people up, not shut them out. Every time we have followed that great national instinct for unity and fairness, we've been better for it.
The Victorian government has defended its contribution to saving a health service in Melbourne's inner north this week. Last year, community health organisation CoHealth announced it had to close its bulk billed services in Kensington, Collingwood and Fitzroy due to economic pressure. But after large protests and an independent review, the federal government committed $1.5 million to the service for 12 months. In a statement, the Victorian government says it's working with the health service and the federal government to ensure that CoHealth can sustainably continue in the future. The federal government says preparing for future pandemics is a key part of its decision to commit an extra $387 million into the CSIRO. The funding will be delivered over 4 years and will be spent on projects relating to medical research, pandemic preparedness and advanced technology development. An extra $38 million a year will go towards upgrading the Australian Centre for Disease Preparedness in Geelong. Science Minister Tim Ayres says the investment is essential.
It is more than a remote possibility that there'll be future pandemics, and making sure that we are ahead of the game, protecting Australians and Australia from future pandemics, but also all of the dealing with pandemics and biological hazards for agriculture.
The New South Wales Government has announced a $39 million boost for the state's firearms registry in order to implement changes to licensing after the Bondi Beach terror attack last December. Digby Worthmuller reports.
The reforms include capping gun licences to 2 years, down from 5, increasing checks on people seeking gun ownership, auditing existing licences, and capping the number of firearms owned per person. Funding announced today will go towards system upgrades on the registry and paying 22 additional staff to process licences, conduct checks and regular reporting. The raft of changes comes in the wake of the Bondi terror attack last December.
Greek military experts are examining a mysterious naval drone spotted by fishermen in the Ionian Sea. The fishermen alerted the Greek Coast Guard, which then towed it to a nearby port, and the Defence Ministry is now overseeing the investigation. Reports in Greek media say the drone carried explosives and its engine was still running when it was discovered. The reports also suggest the vessel could be either Ukrainian-made or linked to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. That brings you up to date with the latest ABC News.
The Assembly returns.
Our student journalists are back.
It's a really beautiful question.
To interview Andy Lee, Jessica Malboy and more.
You guys are superstars.
The brand new season of The Assembly. Streaming now on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Callahan has ended up to the wing. Stringer in the contest opposed to Redmond. Hands in the back perhaps, but took the mark. He's got support with Ash. He'll chip it over the top. Goal in coming for the Giants because Toby Green has marked it in the pocket. Toby Green on his left, never in doubt. Durham goes short to Roberts. Possession number 14 for him. That's a nice kick to Peter Wright. He uses it beautifully out of half-back. There's Archie Roberts. And just speared that onto Wright's big chest. Can he kick a major? That's a beautiful effort from outside 50. Never looked like missing. Iden back there. Got it to Buckley. Needed to be quick. And he wasn't. Durham with a strong tackle. Back to Caddy. Bouncing ball from his kick. Favours Langford. Gets it to Sharp. Works it back to Parrish. Parrish off a step. Drills one home for Essendon.
Briggs in the contest with Bryan. Hand pass comes back here for Parrish. The Bombers are away towards half forward again. Leaping up and controlling the grab. Archer May played the mark from 52. Gives it everything. And straight to the goal umpire's head.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Saturday footy on ABC Sport, and you find us here at the Sydney Showground. Half-time, Greater Western Sydney, the Giants and Essendon. The Bombers do lead 7-5-47. The Giants 5-2-32. You're with Brett Sprigg. Alongside Daniel Garb, Ryan O'Keefe, Jason Saddington and Phil Pry. You can keep your text coming 0437 774 774. Second half not too far away here. The Auskickers are still out there, and it's sort of now that twilight period where it now just feels like night time. We've had the first half of the game in the late afternoon sunshine. Nice conditions here in Sydney's inner west, and now it feels like a true Saturday night game. And of course, 2 games still to come tonight. I mentioned in Darwin, the Suns and the Saints will meet at Marara Oval there. We'll take our listeners through the NT off there straight away as soon as we're done here at the Sydney Showground, as well as then releasing the rest of you to Geelong versus Collingwood at the MCG, where Scott Pendlebury plays game number 4 132. So he equals Brent Harvey's games record tonight. And of course, we expect he won't come to Sydney and face the Swans next week for Friday night footy. By the way, earlier, speaking of the Swans, they did beat North by 8 points. There were 5 lead changes. The last of those early in the third term. North led by as many as 19 points in the opening quarter. A day of what might have been for North Melbourne. They had 55 more disposals. Clearances were +3, more inside 50s. They were +16 there, and more scoring shots overall. As far as the match review is concerned, Jacob Constanti did whack Tom Patley in the kidney after he disposed of the footy. And there was also a concern for, as far as injuries are concerned, for Cooper Trembath. He finished the day on the bench after appearing to hyperextend his leg in the last quarter at Docklands. So that's the story of what's happened earlier today. The Swans by 8 points over North Melbourne. They go back on top of the AFL ladder. 0437 774 774 is the SMS. And by the way, in the NRL, in Wollongong, the Newcastle Knights have beaten St George Illawarra, the Dragons, 44-10. The Knights slay the Dragons. And live score happening just next door at Stadium Australia, South Sydney 2, Leeds Cronulla Sutherland 0. Those NRL games in round 10.
Semi-final first leg in the A-League. Auckland and Adelaide level at 1-1. About 10 minutes to go in that semi-final.
And Sydney FC and Newcastle Jets, is that
That's
later
tonight. In Sydney, the first leg. Second leg of the semis next week, of course. So Auckland and Adelaide, things level. Adelaide will be happy with that as it stands before they play the second leg at home next week.
I heard our team pondering this earlier, Corbin Middlemass and the crew on Saturday Arvo footy at Docklands. But when we mentioned the whole Giants thing, so Tim Reid, the chairman, spoke during the week. I don't know if he sort of volunteered this. It was more something he was asked about, the future direction of the club and the club's identity as far as GWS, Greater Western Sydney. He said, no one really says, I'm from Greater Western Sydney. So what do you reckon, Ryan O'Keefe? You're a man of all these ideas. If the Giants are to sort of make a change at some point, what do you reckon we're dealing with?
Yeah,
drop the G?
Drop the G. I reckon Western Sydney.
Right.
Definitely. Or, as I jokingly said, Parramatta's the second city of Sydney. We're calling the Parramatta Giants or something like that.
I reckon the far more likely thing would be, Sado, given the connection to Canberra and all of that it might just be a non-location specific thing. So just the Giants, they become, what's the word, like the Kangaroos had?
Yeah.
And so just
like Madonna.
Like the Dolphins in the NRL, which seems to work for them.
Yeah, the Dolphins, and they've got the Warriors as well, of course. The Dolphins have a few different regions there in Queensland, so maybe that's the Giants' future direction. But, I mean, it might make too big a difference as far as what they're actually called, as to whether it changes how many games they play in Sydney versus Canberra, whatever else. But
I like the idea, the Giants, and it's Western Sydney Giant. The Greater. No one says I live in the Greater. Just the Giants.
Pretty great. It's pretty big. There's a lot of Western Sydney out there. They're, Sado part of the academy. It covers Canberra, the Riverina, and Western New South Wales, really.
Yeah. So,
which I think was a little bit of the Greater Western. That was trying to encapsulate a bit more, obviously the bigger, broader part of Sydney, but the Blue Mountains, and as you spread. But I think probably internally or sort of the Giants probably for a couple of years have been trying to refer to themselves more as Giants.
Yeah.
With a less of the other
capital letters as well.
Yeah, Giants. I mean, even from an academy point of view, it's Giants Academy. It's not Greater Western Sydney Academy.
Yeah. We've got a giant problem right now, more importantly.
Oh, yes.
15 points down at half-time to the Bombers. Only 3 wins for the season. I mean, you can make a case that if they lose this, it's pretty much season over. That maybe they could scrape in for a wild card spot, but their chance of actually achieving something this season will be done for, which, expectations weren't necessarily high once their injuries hit pre-season. But players are starting to come back, and this 2-week block was viewed as a chance to get some momentum. Essendon today, West Coast next week. Lose this, and there is going to be a lot of talk around where this list is and where this club's going.
It was interesting what you said earlier, Springer, about they had been in this situation before.
3-7 3 years ago.
But that was Kingsley's first year. They had a game style that no one really knew. Everyone knows how they play now, so they can stop it. So they can't get away with this unknown game style.
What can they do in this second half, which is just seconds away here at the Sydney Showground on ABC Sport? You're back with Daniel Garb.
This could be a win to remember for the Bombers in what's been another bleak season for them so far. Up by 15 points at the break. Toby Green in the middle, though, wins the first clearance and spirals one inside 50. Cadman got a hand to it. Blackiston doing a really good job on him. And then Redmond mops up and gives it to Roberts for possession. Number 21 was the outstanding player on the ground in that first half, Archie Roberts. His kick up to the wing has helped Newen draw a free kick. No one's standing the mark. This could be 50. Umpire doesn't pay it. Not that we like that rule, but that's what it's there for.
We hate that rule.
Newen's kick inside 50. Green's there for the Giants. He's wrapped up. We do, but, you know, we've seen it played a lot. If you're not standing on the mark, well, Fonte says, well, that's 50 metres anyway. It's a ball up inside 54, Essendon.
Fonte gave away the free kick. He was quick to move. He was quick to get out of there.
Lenny T, the umpire, throws the ball in the air. Tap down there as Buckley wrapped up by Langford. Ball up again.
One thing the Giants have got right is their half-time feed up here in the press. Spriggy, you've got about 8 spring rolls.
Well, they were late delivering the catering, and so I've just sort of ran away then as soon as the ball up happened, and so I just filled my boots with a few spring rolls and samosas. Away they go. As it's socket off the half-back line here by Sullivan Roby. Thomas goes to trap it now. Overrun initially, then won back by Jackson Pryor. Gathered again by Daniels. He was dispossessed in the tackle. Toby Green back to Fonte. Run down here by Langford. Umpire watching, waiting. Will board up.
What was that by Toby Green? Like, what? Trying to be Harlan Globetrotters. I know they're in town, the Harlan Globetrotters. what are you trying to do there?
Essendon by 15 points. Roby feeds it back off to Merritt. Inside 50 here for the Bombers. Iden had a hold down there on Caddy. Socket forward by Peter Wright. It's off target. They're for a minor score. Essendon with the first score of this second half is a behind. 7-6-48 plays 5-2-32.
Liking the look of Sullivan Roby. Looks really strong in the hips. Yeah. I mean, he was the one who shot up the draft board at the end of last season. Was taken with pick 9. Gee, he looks a player. Here's Buckley, left half back, up to the wing, to Whitfield. Plays on quickly. That's a nice kick to his partner in crime in Ash. He's marked it just behind centre half forward. Chips one for the lead of Cadman, who takes the grab on the second attempt. That's better from the Giants. They broke open the Bombers' press, and Cadman will kick this from 50, very slight angle to the right.
That's the Lockie Whitfield we know. That was a beautiful kick inside Ash. And then Cadman led at the ball carrier. I've been crying out for this all game. As a key forward, lead up at the ball carrier, kick, mark, shot on goal. It's a pretty simple game when you break it down.
That was the difference, wasn't it? Yeah. There was a couple of kicks in the chain rather than handballs.
Kick 2 last week, Cadman. Been a really good battle with Blackiston today. And he's pulled this one to the right. The Giants needed that. Essendon's lead is 15 points, 7-6-48. The Giants 5-3-33. We've gone 3 minutes in the third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Archie Roberts, 22nd disposal coming up with the kick out. We'll find Parrish. One of the 6 inclusions. He was managed last week, Darcy Parrish. He goes beyond defensive 50, out to a 2-on-2. Reaching in from behind, Nick Bryan is paid the grab. Left half back for Essendon. Skids it wide here in the members' wing. Caddy goes to gather and can't quite gather it cleanly. Out of bounds for a throw-in. A bit of push and shove here on that wing as well with Connor Iden getting involved with Nick Cox. Your jumpers being tugged and the like. Toss back in and the side of the Sydney Showground. Briggs down to Daniels, had one arm held, gets a kick away though towards half forward, back in the hole. Great work to intercept there from Archie Roberts.
Wouldn't be hard to give the 3 votes at the moment. Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington. Roberts, the clear VOG. Here's Blackiston doing some nice work in defensive 50. Turned it over though. Fonte got to the front, didn't take the mark, so Newen's able to regather. Short to Reid, now Merritt, the former captain. Shares it with Roberts once more. His kick was a little bit dangerous. Well done, Harvey Thomas. Won the contest and then the ball at grounds. And McGrath comes out to meet it like a captain should for the Bombers. Really good contest to win. Gave it to Merritt. That's a high ball in the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick from Merritt. Cox did well to make a contest. But the Giants gather through Bedford. He's wrapped up, ball up, just behind the centre circles. Bombers lead by 15 points, 5 minutes gone in the third term.
This is one thing I've liked the umpiring this year is that the players that duck in their head, they're not paying the free kick for high. I love it.
Callahan hand pass off here to Connor Iden. Just nurses the kick around the corner here off half back. Bedford traps it, shares it with Oliver by hand. Now wide it comes to Brent Daniels. Still 75 from goal. His kick to skids inside 50. It missed the defender at Blackiston. Picked up by Cadman. Swings around, snaps and misses to the far side. So the Giants peppering away. But the Essendon side still leads by 14 points. 5.5 played third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Roberts,
that, Cadman.
He did. Roberts told to play on with possession number 25, and now number 26 coming up. Turned one way and then the next, and found Perkins. Short to McGrath. Essendon controlling the ball in defensive 50. They're up by 14 points. Farrow's got it at the moment. Another one of their first-round draft picks from last year. Short to Merritt. Possession number 19 for him. Still hasn't re-signed. Still talk he could leave, or asked to leave at the end of the season, Zach Merritt, after that drama of last year as Caddy comes out to meet it. Excellent leap. Guided it down in the end. Newen sends it inside 50. Bouncing ball. Cox couldn't grab it. Clever by Bryan to tap it back to Redmond. Flying shot will miss from Mason Redmond. 49 out. The Bombers' lead is back to 15 points.
Actually, a couple of long balls the Bombers have kicked cross ground have so far this quarter, which invites a turnover. They've got away with it both times, though.
Verde goes beyond defensive 50. Out of this member's side. Up goes Cadman again. This time does control the grab. Call to play on now. Spears the pass down the line. Daniels draws a player. Bedford out in space now from right half forward. Inside 50. Stringer's all the way back there in the square. Plays on and slams it through. Jake Stringer for his second. The Giants close the gap after half time. 6-4-40. Essendon, who are 7-7-49. 7 minutes played, third quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Your experts are Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington.
Well, they're bringing the kick back into their attack. It'll be a broken record, Saturday. I will all game, and it just shows. Good kick. Cadman comes out and presents. Mark, kick, one handball, kick, goal. Like, it was always. I remember when we were playing. I'm not going to go back, be one of those players back in my day, but I will. Well, it was always spoken about. It's how efficient are you at scoring? Like, how many possessions does it take you to score a goal or have a shot on goal? And if you're really efficient and had less, that was a sign we were playing well. So I think like they're being a bit more efficient now, the Giants.
A double for Jake Stringer against his former club. Essendon's lead cut back to 9 points, but they want a free kick from that ball up.
No, you're right, Pebs. They're definitely looking to kick a little bit more, the Giants, which has allowed them to get those last couple of shots on goal.
Free kick against Riccardi, going the way of Peter Wright. So, to me to Peter. Will slam the Bombers inside 50 again. Caddy with a double grab. Just got hands in front of Himmelberg and guided it down to himself. Took the mark on the chest in the end. And that was impressive from this precocious talent up forward for Essendon. And he can help them regain a 15-point margin with an accurate kick.
It surprises me that Peter Wright hasn't played a lot more football in the ruck. For a guy who's 203 centimetres, moves so well, and he's a beautiful kick of the ball. He could be such a damaging one of the best ruckmans in the comp.
Nate Caddy's kick is straight through the middle. Big goal, Essendon. And this young leader of the Bombers attack has 2 on the board, and Essendon regained that 15-point margin.
I've liked his game, Caddy. He's presented really well. He's looked very dangerous. He's taken a couple of strong marks, and even if he's not marking it again, he's bringing the ball to ground. But he's the one that is causing some damage up there for the Giants defenders. You know, Buckley, Iden, some tools. He's been a very, very good target for the Bombers, having a great game, Nate Caddy.
We spoke last week or during the week about, I guess, the club being mired in mediocrity after their loss to the Lions at Docklands last week. To turn the future direction of this club around. It's going to be a good game tonight. Nate Caddy, 15 points, the Essendon lead. Early stages, third term. Up it goes in the middle. Riccardi in the contest with Wright. Bursting through here, Dyson Sharp. The teenager gets the hand pass back to Parrish. Hand pass missed. Roberts bounced there for Hannaford of the Giants. Overcooked his own hand pass here. Riccardi has to go and retrieve it. Now Thomas under some pressure. Riccardi tries again. Off to Joe Fonte from left half back. All the way across now. That's marked by Leake at centre half back. Kick a little wayward here. Cornelio arrives to it though unmarked. He's too quick down there for Archer Day-Wicks. The veteran Cornelio goes down the line here towards half forward. And it's affected out of bounds with a spoil by Zach Reid.
See, even in that play, Ryan, it was Canelio could have handballed the ball off, but he looked and he thought, no, I'm going to try and get a forward to come and lead at me, and I'm going to kick this ball. Unfortunately, Stringer didn't come up at it, but it did look like a clear direction in terms, boys, let's put the handball away for a bit. Let's hit the targets.
Voice of former Swan and Blue, Jason Saddington on ABC Sport. Bombers win it importantly from the boundary throw-in at half-back for them. Leaktho's able to work it forward to Oliver. Canelio now, clever handball over his shoulder, looking for his old mate in green. And then an excellent smother from Canelio as the Bombers try to clear the area. So we'll have a throw-in from the exact same spot as the last one. Essendon still leading by 15 points. The veterans in Canelio and Green trying to drive their side on. They need a spark, GWS. This could be one of their more disappointing defeats in a long time if they don't turn it around from here.
Still a ways to go yet. Wright wins it down. Parrish, hand pass off again, Archie Roberts. Now Merritt, back to Parrish. Numbers around the ball there at left, half back for Essendon. And now on that member's side, was there a shove in there? Yes, indeed. Free kick going back here for the Giants. Nice try, Archer, mate. He was into the back there of Jaden Laverde. Free kick here for GWS. Himmelberg marks in the bright pink boots on the logo broadcast side. Trying to chip away at this 15-point deficit, the Giants with possession. Fonte behind the bullseye. Floats a hand pass forward. Lockie Ash now goes wide to Connor Iden. And slow put up in the chain here for the Giants. Harvey Thomas marks. Again, and that's 75 from goal at left half forward. 12 gone third term. Essendon by 15 points. Up inside 50 they go. Crumbing there, Riccardi. Slip one tackle. Hand pass was a little wayward there. Picked off by Parrish. And the Bombers can rebound the ball this time.
Numbers in the middle of the ground for the Giants, though. Buckley gives it to Ash. Has a bounce. Every Essendon player behind the ball. So space is at a premium. The kick from Ash towards Bedford isn't marked cleanly. Roberts is there. Good tackle by Bedford. They need more of that, the Giants. Ball spills free. Holding the ball not paid. Giants fans wanted more. And now there's a whistle that'll go the way of Essendon. Merritt was thrown after he disposed of it. What was it? And the sentiment from the Giants faithful is pretty clear.
What was Lockie Ash seeing there? He had Himmelberg and Kliniga all on their own. Like, just hit the easy target, mate.
Roberts with possession, number 31 goes short to Jackson Pryor. Essendon still up by 15 points. Pryor up to the wing. Laverde battling with May, wins the contest. Inboard, he goes over the head of Callaghan, though. This could be a dangerous turnover. Gathered by Caddy. He's found some space, turns around, looks for Wright, who was marked. Had the chance to play on quickly. Will go back on his mark. And that's a poor turnover from Laverde in the middle of the grounds. And the Bombers can bring this out to a 4-goal margin, if Wright can convert with his second of the game.
Just when the Giants look like they're starting to get some momentum and control in the game of footy, just the overshot kick from Laverde, who's actually been quite good down back. 2-year contract extension this year, which is great for him, but gee, that hurts, especially if Wright kicks his goal.
Peter Wright from 52. It's a fantastic effort. Bombers fans up and about at the Sydney Showground. Wright has 2. But Essendon are out to a 21-point lead. 9-7-61. GWS 6-4-40. 14 minutes gone in the third term.
Kids, if you're out there watching this, it's not about trying to hit the sexy, fancy, the hard ball. It was an easy option. The player, Cornelio again, he could have had 20 out on the wing if they actually looked there and just hit. He's standing there all on his own. Just take the easy option. There's a 25-metre easy kick. That's okay. But you try and pin something right in the middle between 5 different players and you turn over and it costs you. Like, they sometimes they do the basics well and they score. Then they get too cute and try to be fancy and pull these super hard kicks, turn it over, and it costs them.
It's as big as lead has been all game for Essendon. 21 points. Restart back in the middle. Briggs, hand pass out in space for Daniels. Just slaps it forward, keeps it moving. Inside 50, Riccardi. Overcooked his hand pass to Lockie Ash. Wrapped up by Durham. And now Thomas just nurses the kick inside 50 and finds the chest of Riccardi. Can the Giants respond here? Riccardi in his preferred pocket at left half forward, 45 out.
Preferred? Is this his pocket? Is this the Riccardi pocket?
I've seen him kick a few from there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. The Riccardi pocket.
Right side for a right footer. Lays into it here, Jake Riccardi. It's on its way, and it is missing. So not preferred that time, at least.
Only narrowly.
20 points, yeah. 15 minutes gone, third term. As it remains, 20 points is the Essendon lead. Saturday footy here on ABC Sport.
And concerning times for Adam Kingsley and GWS. Toby Green with a nice spoil. It'll be a boundary throw in, just in front of the wing, out of side. Not the biggest crowd in here at the Sydney Showground. Lights on. Hewitt night game now.
It's exciting times for Bombers fans too. They're a massive show. They're playing some good football.
The youngsters are looking really exciting. Roberts, Sharp, Roby, Farrow. Caddy as well up forward. It's been brilliant. That's a good grab in the middle of the ground by Lee. One of the first round draft picks for GWS. Hasn't played many games. It's starting to give them something. The Tasmanian. Not a great kick. Up and under ball. Off hands. Back there is Johnson for the Bombers. Gave it to Redmond. And that's a clever kick. Playing on was Cox. Surely. Laverde stopped though. Could have taken him. In fact, it was Archer May. Let him off the hook, did Laverde. Kick in the middle of the ground. He's brought down by Essendon. Well done by Perkins. Gave it to Day Wicks.
They're away here at half forward. Hand pass to Newen. And the trouble there in the form of Buckley. And now Langford spins through one tackle. Back here again. The flying shot comes from Perkins and bangs it all the way home. The Bombers extend their lead to 26 points in the third term. Essendon 10-7-67. The Giants 6-5-41. The goal to Archie Perkins. And they're out beyond 4 goals now. 17 played third quarter. Saturday footy here on ABC Sport. Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington.
Just following on from your comment before, Garbs, just watching this, watching now all the Giants players, their hands on their knees, and you mentioned they look slow
and tired.
And tired, like Lockie Whitfield. It just looks like at the moment, and I don't want to disrespect him because he's a champion player, but looks like the game's too fast for him out there. And whether with the amount of injuries they've had, a lot of these players felt they've done a huge workload and they're just cooked. They look absolutely cooked out there.
Essendon by 26 points. They can really put this game to bed. They've got all the momentum. Can the Giants find something late in this third term? Good kick by Callahan to find Cadman. A couple of the next generation superstars coming through for GWS. That's a clever kick from Cadman. Riccardi's marked it on a lead, and he's in the Riccardi pocket. His last effort didn't miss by much.
It'll catch on.
Yeah.
Not quite the Eddie Betts pocket, but maybe.
Well, now he's going the snap. He's changing his mindset on this pocket.
He just needs to kick true for the Giants. Jack Riccardi does so.
There we go.
That's an important one for his second. Margin back to 20 points. And it was Cadman out in the lead with a beautiful kick to Riccardi, and he snapped it from a very tight angle.
The Riccardi snap pocket. Yeah.
But I'll keep going about that point. I was speaking before, but I just think the style and the tempo they play, it's this frenetic go, but with, I don't know, with so many players out, players that maybe haven't got that speed in the legs like they did back in 2023, do they need to just change it up, have a couple of different gears and play a little bit more kick mark, a bit more possession and a little bit more methodical going forward rather than this high-tempo tsunami footy where the players, they can't sustain it at the moment.
I've seen them run down scores or margins from here before the Giants. They'll almost respond here out of the middle as Brian beats Briggs. Kick goes nowhere though. It was smothered by Briggs. Now Briggs goes a hand pass off the deck. Merritt slides after it too. Durham, clever. Back to his former skipper. And now Durham goes again. Slung a full 360 down there by Daniels. And now it's wrapped up on the wing with Fonte and Archer Day Wicks. So a ball up here, members' side of the Sydney Showground. Essendon by 20 points as we approach time on here in quarter number 3. First hands to it, Dyson Sharp. Tries to track it now. Oliver Stocker's off the deck. Leak. Tackle for the Giants. Loose ball gathered by Whitfield. Slung to the ground by Archer Day Wicks. And again, it's still inside attacking 50 for the Bombers. Thomas gets there first for the Giants. Off to his captain in green, Oliver. Back here to Fonte. Kick was smothered. Picked off here by Roby. He sends it towards goal and misses right across the face. Out of bounds on the full Still 20 points, Essendon's margin. 20 gone, third term.
Oh, I'm on you, Gard. This Roby, he's a good sort.
Yeah.
He looks like a ready-made player. He's going to be a very good player, I think.
Yeah.
A lot more games under his belt.
He exploded in his draft year in the second half of it to be a first-round pick. Briggs couldn't take the mark just outside half-back, but he'll get another chance to dispose of it. It's a free kick to Essendon, though, for holding. It's against Gothard, who's been really quiet today. Just the 5 disposals without a shot on goal. And Dursme kicked 2 goals in the first term to get the Bombers going, to send them back inside 50. They lead by 20 points, Essendon. Roby is a chance to mark this, as is right off hands. Newen does the roving, got free of Whitfield. Over back to Roby. Now Merritt sends an up and under ball to a dangerous spot inside 50. Right flew, knocked to the ground. Daniels fell over dangerously. Now it's with Cox. Zach Johnson's kick is across the 50-metre arc. Well done by Grzyzewski. Knocked it down to Iden. Here goes Callaghan. He's trying his best to lift the Giants.
Ixvis on the side of the ground, up towards Stringer in the contest with Redmond. Loose ball pounced on by Cadman, 55 from goal. Someone's back there. Gothard all by himself on the bounce, and now straightens up and sends it through. Young Phoenix Gothard. Another important goal for the Giants. They've kicked back-to-back majors now. They're 8-5-53. Essendon 10-7-67. Margin back to 14. 22 gone, third quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
You asked for him, Garbs, and there was a rise of the Phoenix there. He came out of the ashes and came and kicked the goal. But look, a lot more direct play there. Beautiful by Finn Callaghan. A long, direct ball to Stringer. Stringer loves it. You wouldn't get a better player one-on-one than Stringer. Give it to him, give him a chance, and then good pick up by Cadman and to get Phoenix, who works super hard off that offside wing.
Callaghan's having a quarter. 3 score involvements. You can see him trying to lift this team. 22 touches for the game.
Well, it's when Callaghan plays his best footy, is when he's exploding but then kicking long, because he's a great long 55, 60-metre ball player by foot.
2 in a row for the Giants, brings the margin back to 14 points, and they win the clearance again. Oliver, quick hands, that was beautiful, to Callaghan once more. Zach Johnson had the chance to mark that, decided to spoil. It'll be a boundary throw-in inside 50 for the Giants. Now we're seeing the pressure starting to tell on Essendon. That was a chance for a mark, and they went to spoil instead.
See pressure, does wonders.
Just quickly, Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Dyson Sharp for Essendon. He has hurt his left shoulder. It's being assessed now on the boundary.
I like Dyson Sharp. He's a goer. He just goes super hard in there.
Very good. One of those young guns, 18 years of age, Dyson Sharp. Briggs slapped to the way here for Cadman, picked up by Blackiston. Essendon are away off full back. And now Caddy marks on the half-back line. Still some run here for Jacob Farrow. Speaking of young guns, number 10 pick in last year's draft. Back to Caddy. We'll swing it back inboard now, looking for Newen. Got the spoil from Lockie Ash on the loose ball, middle of the Sydney showground. Parrish out with Briggs. Hand pass picked off. Durham wins it back now, and Oliver lays a very high tackle down there on Day Wicks. So free kick Essendon in the middle of the ground.
That was UFC style, that was a good collar hold.
So Essendon by 14 points here, 24 gone in the third term. Umpire didn't quite blow time back on. So Day Wicks will come back and take his kick from just near those centre circles.
I love what Jake Stringer did too. I'm not sure McGrath was going to go reconcile with Clayton Oliver, but Stringer says, "No, son, just leave it alone."
Like a bouncer, wasn't he?
It was. It was like,
"Day back champ.
Get over the velvet cord there, son."
So Day Wicks sends it out to the wing where Redmond is marked. Calls for someone to come to him. That player is May. Couldn't take the grab. Briggs is out. He's won a free kick for a high hit. So Kieran Briggs will take.
Done well to get Kieran Briggs high.
It's got a Bedford instead. It was a free kick against
downfield.
Briggs, but then
that's why the handball.
It was. So Bedford will take it in the right back pocket. Essendon leading by 14 points. So it's all of a sudden game on here. The Giants working their way back into the contest. Bedford's kick is up to the wing.
And up it goes. The pack forms through the hands down there of Nick Cox. Out the back Onto it, Grajewski tumbles it back towards half-full for the Giants. It missed both Stringer and McGrath. It falls for Gothard. Hand pass off to Daniels. He kicks off balance from 45. It'll bounce in the square and go through. He's a man of moments, Brett Daniels. And the Giants fans love that one. They've kicked 3 straight in the game. The Giants 9-5-59. Essendon now 10-7-67. The Bombers still by 8 points. It was 26 just mere moments ago. 26 gone, third term. Saturday for you on ABC Sport with your experts, Jason Saddington and Ryan O'Keefe.
It's amazing when you get inside 50s. The Giants are up to 31 inside 50s now. They've lifted it by just playing a territory game. And then Daniels and Phoenix and these guys, the mosquito fleet on the ground is just getting at them. So they've got to, this is what we've been asking for the Giants. They've got they can do it. They've just got to do it more consistently.
It's a clear shift. Clear shift in the way they're playing. And it's working. They're getting dangerous ball front half. And you're right, the small players keep turning up in the right spots. And they're looking much, much more dangerous.
Dyson Sharp with that shoulder injury going down to the rooms. Bombers lead, cut back to 8 points, and Callaghan races away from the centre circles again. He is igniting this team in the third term. His kick goes inside 50 off the hands of Cadman. Daniels, who kicked the last goal, takes McGrath over the boundary line. Essendon's lead was 26 points. Feels like 5 minutes ago. Now back to 8.
Another deep entry there by Callaghan. He's like you said, Garby, he's dragging them. Come, boys, come with me. Trying to get them over the line.
Toss back in on the outer side. McCarty and Wright in the contest. Oliver first hands to it. Gothard and now Bedford. High kick up and under. Arrive in the pocket. No one's marking it though. Merritt at the back there in defence for the Bombers. And now Roberts. Kick. Dicey. Picked up by Grajewski. Who said thank you very much. And slams it through from point blank range. They've kicked 4 on the bounce, the Giants. It's back to a 2-point ball game as we approach three-quarter time.
Who kicked that? They want that back.
That was Roberts.
He's
had 32. Like one of them is going to be a howler, and that was just unfortunate.
This is the bit be killing you as an Essendon fan. They've just done so much right, and good ball users get the ball in hand. Just picks the horrible wrong option.
It was a nut read. It was trying to sort of recover that kick, but Grajewski said thank you very much. Yep. The Bombers by 2 points.
It was a clean grab from Grajewski, mind you.
The pickup was fantastic, and then the pirouette.
Half volley on the turn for his second.
It was pumped too.
I like the Bombers fans at home. There's a bit of frustration coming into the players.
Yep.
Essendon players here as well. A bit of remonstrating there on the line. Stringer in the thick of it.
The Giants all over the Bombers right now. 4 straight goals to bring the margin back to 2 points. Essendon win a much-needed free kick in the middle of the ground just to get them going in attack again. Durham in his 100th game has been solid. He's kicked those a little scrappy. Right, picks it up. And they can go into attack now. Coming out to mid, it is May. No one near him. Well, I'm not sure who his opponent is. It might be Connor Iden. Lost him completely in the run at that contest. And Archer May will kick from 35 out in a 45-degree angle to the right.
He had an absolute paddock. I don't know what happened there in the Giants' defence. It must have been a handover or something. He just got totally on his own. An uncontested mark by a key forward inside 50s. That's just the coach killer.
To stop a run of 4 straight Giants goals. Archer May for his second. Stutters in and slots it. Bombers needed that badly. Back out to an 8-point lead. 29 minutes gone in the third term.
Absolutely. Much needed settler. Giants with all the momentum. Bombers had struggled to get the ball in the front half the last few minutes. Lovely finish. It was easy in the end. But a great finish from May, doing what you need to do.
And kick those 4 goals in about a 5-minute span, the Giants, before that Archer May response. Back to the boundary we go, Phil Pryor.
Yeah, just with Essendon's Dyson Sharp. So he had the left shoulder assessed. Then the 2 doctors went over to the screen and reviewed the incident. And then they basically went straight back to Dyson and said, all right, we're going to go and have a closer inspection. Down to the rooms we go.
0437 774 774. Shane in Currans Hill, thank you for your text. Says Lockie Ash needs to pull his finger out. Tassie Damo, this is another broadcast, I think. Wright goes inside 50 here for the Bombers. Picked up by Asher. Was run down by Langford. Not quite. Got the hand pass away. Leak now back to Daniels. Swings it back Members' side. Himmelberg marks it right half back here for GWS.
Sends it over the top to Oliver. Possession number 23 coming up for Oliver. He's trying his heart out again. That's a scrappy kick though. Really poor disposal. Perkins has taken the mark at centre half back for Essendon.
It's a lazy kick. Very lazy kick. He's got to use it better than that.
Take the easy option.
Yep.
And now the Bombers can move it to the outer side. Johnson to Blackiston. What a final term we're set for here at the Sydney Showground. Essendon looking for a real lifter in their season. The Giants trying to save their season perhaps. And that's a free kick to the Giants at left half back for a hold on Buckley. And the Bronx cheers from the Giants faithful. They feel as though they've got a bit of a rough ride from the umpires today.
They have, haven't they? I've noticed that too, Garvey.
What, the Bronx cheers or the rough?
No, they're unhappy with the calls they're not getting.
Yeah.
Buckley called a play on. Short kick across that half-back line for James Leake. And he comes wide here. Intercepted by Nate Caddy at left half forward. Bombers go back on the advance. Caddy 65 from goal. Sets it up behind a full forward. Reaching, not quite Archer May. Couldn't pluck it down there as Lockie Ash spins through trouble. And his kick is neat to Connor Iden. Lays off the hand pass. Fonte fires it across by hand to Whitfield. And the Giants rebound again off half-back. Will fall there for Goffard, but Krajewski touched it on the way through, so it will be balled up on the members' wing of the Sydney Showground. Essendon 11-7-73. The Giants 10-5-65. You're with Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, Ryan O'Keefe, Jason Saddington and Phil Pryor. As Riccardi slaps that ball out for a throw-in once again.
I don't know what they're unhappy about. It came off the other person's hand. No disrespect to the Giants. I think the umpiring has actually been one of the best I've seen all season. So I think they're carrying on about stuff that they're not really seeing the correct calls.
I think they're very frustrated, Ryan.
Yep.
Their football team.
That's it.
First and foremost. But they are back in this game. It's an 8-point lead to Essendon. Here's Roberts again, who's had an excellent game despite that mistake for the last Giants goal. Gave it to Merritt. Beautiful kick from Merritt. But well done by Whitfield to cut across Newen. Read it well. That's better from the veteran. Gave it to Callahan. Now Fonte. Time ticking down. Can the Giants get one more before three-quarter time? Wright's behind the ball now for the Bombers. Won that contest. And then Merritt taps it the way of Roberts. Himmelberg with his bigger body knocked Roberts off the football. Krajewski's there. And eventually Zach Reed guides it over the boundary line. So a throw in just outside 50 for the Giants. Bombers leading by 8 points. 32 and a half gone in this third quarter.
A game of violent momentum swings. Back in it comes. Riccardi and Wright both missed it. Himmelberg with Dersman for company. Off the deck, Callahan to Riccardi. Back to Whitfield from half forward. Has to seek that ball inside 50 and finds the lead of Stringer. He marks 50 out top of the arc, directly in front.
He's going to have a shot here. The siren will go soon.
It's well within range, we'd say, from Stringer. He's going to have to kick from 55.
So Jake Stringer had the 2 goals so far tonight. 3 goals last time they met. Of course, spent 7 years in the red and black himself. In trots Stringer. No angle to speak of, just distance, 52 out. Hits it neatly. Right on the three-quarter time bell. Margin back to 2 points with Stringer's third major. It's Essendon 11-7-73. The Giants 11-5-71. So with the Giants who kicked those 4 goals in what felt like 5 minutes in that third term to cut Essendon's lead from 26 points back to 2. The goal kickers in this game for GWS with 3 goals for Jake Stringer, 2 each for Toby Green, Jake Riccardi, Max Krajewski kicked his second in that third term as well, and Brett Daniels on the board as well, while for Essendon a couple of goals apiece for Peter Wright, Archer May, Xavier Dersma. Both of those came in the first term, and Nate Caddy. Singles to Darcy Parish, Archie Perkins and Mason Redmond. The stage is set for an enthralling final term here at the Sydney Showground across ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Listen. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Why do we collect things? And how much is too much? Join me, Annabelle Crabb, as I venture into the secret stacks of the State Library of New South Wales and discover that most of the collection isn't books at all. Search for the History or Hoarding podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Here's the pass down the line. Daniels draws a player. Bedford out in space now from right half forward. Inside 50. Stringers all the way back there in the square. Plays on and slams it through. Jake Stringer for his second. They're away here at half forward. Hand pass to Newen. And the trouble there in the form of Buckley. And now Langford spins through one tackle. Back here again. The flying shot comes from Perkins and bangs it all the way home. The Bombers extend their lead. Missed by Stringer and McGrath. It falls for Gothard. Hand pass off to Daniels. He kicks off balance from 45. It'll bounce in the square and go through. He's a man of moments, Brett Daniels. And the Giants fans love that one. High kick up and under. Arrive in the pocket. No one's marking it though. Merritt at the back there in defence for the Bombers. And now Roberts kicked dicey. Picked up by Grudzinski. Who said thank you very much. And slams it through from point blank range.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Giants have kicked 5 out of the last 6 goals in the game here, but Essendon leads by 2 points at the final change. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Garb, Jason Saddington, Ryan O'Keefe and Phil Pryor here at the Sydney Showground. There is footy in the top end tonight where the Suns host St Kilda at Barara Oval in Darwin. Listeners through local radio Northern Territory will head there as soon as we're finished here in Sydney. And of course you can hear that via the Listen app via ABC AFL Extra. While the rest of us head to the MCG for the Cats and the Pies. Matt Clinch, good evening.
Good evening to you, Spriggy. Yes, Scott Pendlebury tonight joins Brent Harvey at the top of the AFL Games record hold. Game 432 for him tonight as the Magpies look to get back to their winning ways after a draw against Hawthorn last week. How does Boomer feel about being joined by Scott Pendlebury? We'll put that to him tonight as to whether it's all fun and games in terms of he's a bit disappointed his career could have gone a bit further, or whether in fact he's happy to hand over the mantle in a couple of weeks' time. Well, for the Cats, they had a 49-point win over North Melbourne after their loss to Port Adelaide the week before. So we're trying to get a gauge as to where these two sides both sit on the ladder. Collingwood are in 8th spot, 4 wins, 3 losses and a draw, and the Cats are 5 wins and 3 losses. Of course, 12 months ago it was Jack Crisp who was breaking the game's consecutive record in which surpassing Jim Steins. He missed the shot after the siren and the Cats held on to win. So they have great history. Can't wait to bring it to you alongside Brent Harvey and Cal Sinclair, Lauren Borden and Poppy Penny on the boundary. It's Collingwood and Geelong following you.
Can't wait. Thank you, Clinchy. And as I said, you can hear that via ABC Listen on the ABC AFL button there. Matt Clinch and the team for Geelong and Collingwood. Anyone's game from here in Sydney. Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington. The Bombers by 2 points.
Yeah, you can clearly see that the Giants changed their ball movement. At half-time, they must have, let's put the handball away, and let's be a little bit more direct, take more territory. Let's get a bit more of a kick game. Give our forwards that opportunity, because they are getting a look at it one-on-one. See, Cadman's getting one-on-one options. Stringer's getting one-on-one play, which, he's one of the best one-on-one players. So it's about being more direct, get it inside. And they lifted their inside 50s. They were at 19 at half-time, now at 33. And compared to the Bombers, just couldn't get their hands on it that quarter. But the one thing I'd really want them to do, the Giants, is keep it simple. Take the easy option. Put that hero ball out of their game style. And they're a very, very dangerous team. And I just think they'll be able to score heavily against Essendon, being quite handy, but I think they can get very exposed defensively.
Yeah, I think Spriggy called it about violent momentum swings, and that's what we had through that quarter, because it was early on. The Giants tried to bite off a bit too much whilst they were getting their kick game going, which allowed Essendon to get out to that nice lead, but then the Giants, didn't they, roar back into it? And it was Finn Callaghan for me. He was just able to become a real 80-metre player. He'd get the ball, he'd take off, he'd take his 20 metres with his legs, and then he'd kick the ball that 60 metres and get the ball up in that front half. Once they got it there was a bit more space. We saw Gothard run onto an easy one. Cadman found some space ahead, Riccardi, and it really ignited their game. So they did get it going, and for the Bombers, they just need to try and hold on here and keep taking their chances. They need to try and find a way to to be strong defensively if the Giants are going to get that ball in the front half quick, whereas the Giants, they need to keep playing the quarter of footy they were playing.
The Giants huddle broke early. Brad Scott held his charges for a little bit longer here at the showground. Let's head back to the boundary. Phil Pryor.
Yeah, in that third quarter, Bombers young gun Dyson Sharp came off clutching a left shoulder. He was taken down to the rooms. He is officially done for the game. So the Bombers down to 4 on the interchange for Q4.
Okay, thank you, Phil. 2 points the margin here in Essendon's favour. What do either of these two sides have left in the tank?
Both hungry for a win, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Saturday twilight footy here. The Bombers chasing their second victory of this campaign. Otherwise, if the Giants can't get it, they'll be 3-6 through the first 9 rounds. And this first clearance goes the way of Finn Callaghan of the Giants. High kick towards half forward. Farrell in the contest, held Cornelio. Gothard dumping the tackle down there from McGrath. And out comes loose, back to Callaghan. Looks at the options. Goes a high hurried kick back towards the teeth of goal. Up in front, it's marked by Nick Cox. Is he paid the mark? No. Umpire says give it to me for a ball up 40 out from the Giants attacking goal.
Callaghan with a couple of big disposals to go with his blistering third term at the start of the last. Briggs caps it down for Toby Green. Farrow got away from the tackle of Daniels. It's inside attacking 50 for the Giants. Thomas is wrapped up by Day Wicks. We'll have a ball up. Umpire lets play to continue, so the ball actually spills free to Pryor. His kick is a dangerous one. Well done down there by May to make a contest, but the Giants win it back on the wing. Whitfield to Fonte. High ball back inside 50 for GWS. Off hands, Blackiston's there. Stripped away from him by Cornelio. Parrish goes in to lock it up. Now McGrath. Essendon under pressure again. The start of this final term, but they've won it back at halfback. Here's Day Wicks. Now Caddy. Under pressure, it's a high up and under to the logo on the wing. Langford makes a nice contest. Almost took the mark at the second attempt. It's well tackled by Callaghan, and we'll have a ball up. Essendon leading by 2 points. Fast start in the final term.
Yeah, and they absorbed really well there, Essendon, and that's what they're going to have to do this quarter. In the back half, just absorb the pressure, keep fighting, keep getting the ball out.
No score as yet in these first couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. Hurried kick forward by the Giants. Out to meet the footy, Gothard. Back to Callaghan. Run down by Merritt. Ball up on the outer wing. By the way, while we were previewing the game at the MCG, Geelong Collingwood, some team news from Morara in Darwin. A late change. Isaiah Wanganeen-Miller is out for St Kilda against the Gold Coast Suns, being managed. So in comes Ryan Burns. He don't beat the Suns in Darwin anyway. As Green runs down the Jackson Pryor and wins the free kick. So the tackle rewarded there for Toby Green as he goes forward of halfway. High kick up inside 50. Captain wants to jump. Spoil from behind there by Redmond. It'll bounce in the pocket. Stringer turns back on his left to the corridor. Langford marks to win a set for Essendon.
Terrible kick.
Yeah. Still the Bombers by 2 points here.
Got to put it in the hot spot there. Bev's about 20 out. He kicked it 40 out.
Yeah, it's skewed off the side of the boot from Stringer. Langford took the mark. Short to McGrath. And now Farrow. Bombers happy to chip it around defensive 50, leading by 2 points. Looking for just their second win of the season after they beat Melbourne in round 5. They led by as much as 26 points in that third quarter. But the Giants came roaring back into it. They've worked it up to Perkins on the wing. Archie Perkins kick to half forward, finding some space. Rather cleverly there is Day Wicks. Take his time. Decides to go corridor instead. That is dangerous. Really poor turnover. Read well by Brent Daniels. He could have got inside 50, Day Wicks. And now the Giants have turned it over unnecessarily. Ash lost the handle on it. Now Jackson Pryor. It's wide of Peter Wright when he could have taken an uncontested mark and had a shot. What was Day Wicks doing and what were the Giants doing when they had space off half back?
There was 3 horrible skill executions there, but that handball, put the handball away, Giants.
Well, it's Brett Daniels that time. He could have kicked when he first got the ball, but he just thought about it a bit too much. He was in a bit of trouble and had to dish off the handball, but they messed it up.
Jason Staddington, Ryan O'Keefe, you're on ABC Sport. Down it comes Durham. Burst through traffic. Beats the tackle of Ash. Hand pass off to Parrish. He straightens up with a left foot kick to the pocket through the hands of Peter Wright. Through for a minor score. Essendon by 3 points. 11-8-74. The Giants 11-5-71. 4.5 minutes played in the final term here at the showground.
What's a 203-centimetre player standing there all on his own in the pocket?
And the kick still went over his head.
Here's Ash. That kick is not well struck again. Another poor disposal from Lockie Ash out of halfback.
Like that text line's going to blow up about Lockie Ash again.
Hawks took the mark. Another one inside 50 for Essendon. Well done, Fonte. Cut across that pack.
Oh.
But then Whitfield's kick is turned over again. And it'll be Archer May with a shot for his third of the game. He'll hit this from just inside 50. 45-degree angle from the right. And Ash and then Whitfield with poor turnovers in defensive 50 for the Giants.
Has the ground announcer turned on the Benny Hill music or something? Is that blaring out there? I'll tell you, it's comical errors both ways at the moment, Pebs.
I don't know, my whiteboard's pretty full right now.
Big moment for Archer May, looking for his third goal. It's a really good effort. High ball, it's through. Bombers lead by 9 points. And Archer May in just game 14 with 3 majors. An unlikely hero for Essendon up forward.
Well, he's done it twice. He's capitalised.
Yep.
Hasn't he? He did it in the third quarter. It was a big shot on goal that he had, and he went back and slotted it. He's done it again. He's obviously got some poise and composure and confidence in his goal kicking, because that was a big shot on goal, and they had to make the Giants pay.
Yeah. Totally.
A couple of turnovers.
And that's a good clutch goal. Like, this is a pressure. Yep. This is a pressure shot, because the game and the score's very tight. He's gone back and just gone slot, which is really good pressure kick.
No, that's how the Bombers are going to win the game. Grab their chances. Giants will keep coming at them. Keep the pressure on. Force those turnovers. Force Whitfield into a horrible kick. When you get your chance, slot it. Great goal from May.
3 goals tonight for Archer May from the restart. Giants first, hands to it. Bedford fires it back to Daniels by hand. He kicks around the side here towards the flank. It'll bounce away from Cornelio. Roberts there first for Essendon. Runs out of room for a throw in at right half forward for GWS.
Took 3 goals last year against Gold Coast, Archer May, so he's equalled his career best in just his 14th game.
Essendon by 9 points here. And the increasingly cool conditions on this Saturday evening in Sydney. Briggs at the front of right. Went through Oliver's legs. Umpire picks out a free kick here, and it will be going the Giants' way. And Clayton Oliver, who was pushed.
He's battled hard all game. But he's just a real workhorse, isn't he, Clayton Oliver?
25 touches coming up here with a kick. High towards full forward for the Giants. Wants to find Briggs, goes through his hands, brought to ground here, piling in Zach Johnson, and the umpire will ball it up again. 20 out from the Giants attacking goal. Scoreboard end, which shows the Bombers leading by 9 points here, 7.5 played final term.
Briggs and right, wrestle away, clever tap by Briggs. Toby Green will march through and kick his third for the Giants. They bring the margin back to 3 points. The skipper has 3. The Giants fans are probably thinking we haven't seen enough of that from Kieran Briggs in recent times. But that was an excellent tap into the path of Green, who converted from 5 metres out.
And it looked like a set piece. The outside hit. Toby Green get on the outside. Clear set piece. Really good forward craft there.
Oh, it's a confidence shot for Briggs. I mean, he's been back in the team. I wouldn't say he's had a huge impact tonight. He looked pretty pumped with it too. You know, he was fisting, throwing the fist out there, and really happy with the work that he did as a ruckman on that play. How Toby Green got the space, I do not know.
Well, he ran a little screen outside Phoenix, which cleaned up the umpire too at the same time, but ran an outside screen, outside hit, set piece.
425 goals for Toby Green, so he's a couple shy of Jeremy Cameron's club games record at the Giants. Parrish run down by Bedford. Umpire lets them go.
How's that not holding the
ball up again? On that southeastern wing of the Sydney Showground, far side of the ground. Briggs competes with Wright. Down it comes again, off the deck. Thomas now for the Giants. Ash, a hurried kick. Out in space now for Merritt, the only player out there. And his kick, not 15 to Langford. Fires the hand pass back infield now for Roby. Goes on the entry. It was a well-timed grab. No, it's not been paid to Archer Day Wicks, who was then set upon immediately, and the umpire will ball up.
He's taken that.
Yeah, unlucky.
Third bite for Archer Day Wicks, and the umpire didn't pay it. 35 from Essendon's goal.
That's
the
a
blood
mark.
rule here. Clary's got some claret, so he's going to come from the field here, Clayton Oliver.
He's in no hurry either.
A bit stiff, Archer Day Wicks. There's a ball up inside 50 here for the Bombers. They lead by 3 points.
That was a clear mark. Watch this. One,
Second, yeah. Just controls it.
That's a mark.
Did he hit the ground on the way down?
No, his arms underneath.
And his forearm sort of curls around the ball as he comes to ground. So I think that was the umpire's main concern. Was it not controlled as he hit the deck? It certainly was. So Archer Daywicks and Ken himself very unlucky there. Essendon lead by 3 points. 10 minutes played, final term, as Oliver very sort of gradually trots off the ground to applause from the home fans. Umpire Lenny T. Throw it in the air. Briggs palms it down here. Bedford wraps up Parrish. Ball comes loose here. Roby tries again now for the Bombers. Brought to ground by Toby Green. And again, we will ball it up.
Well, Toby Green gave Roby some treatment there as he brought him to ground. That was Toby with some of the dark arts. Roby didn't like it. He was giving him a fair bit back. Play goes on. Callahan with the clearance. It's an up and under ball. Possession number 29 for him. At centre half forward for Essendon. Dersma came out to meet it. A little bit quiet after his 2 goals in the first quarter. Well, another ball up at centre half forward. Yeah, he just dug the forearm into Roby's head there, Toby Green. Hopes that a bit, as we know. The youngster fought back.
Toby and Roby. Roby tries again. Slung to ground again by the Giants skipper, who again gives him a bit of a shove for his troubles as play rolls on, only for a few seconds.
The best part was he was happy to have a go back, wasn't he?
Yeah, I love that. Give it back to him.
Bombers by 3 points. 11 gone. Final term here on ABC Sport. Free kick spotted here out of that ball up. And it will come back here now for the Bombers and Sullivan Roby. Thomas reluctantly hands it back to him. 55 from goal. Roby. Options at full forward. A little deep. Himmelberg tries to intercept. Can't control the grab. Laverde run down from behind as well. Contested footy, socket away by Himmelberg. Right there now to the on-defensive 50. Out to Farrow. He scored before he could get the hand pass away. And now he stands in the tackle of Cornelio. And will ball up it right half forward for the Bombers, who lead by 3 points here. 12-8 plays 12-5.
Right, palms it down. Parrish gathers it. Another strong tackle by Toby Green. He's trying to lift physically in the clinches, the Giants captain. He's kicked 3 goals today. Now trying to do his best work in the midfield. Throwing his body around. Another ball up. Right half forward for Essendon. Briggs takes it cleanly out of the air. Works it up to the wing. The bounce favours Riccardi. He gave it to Bedford. Here the Giants go. Bedford with a handball over the top, looking for Stringer. He's kicked 3 against his former side. Lost the handle on it. Well done, McGrath. With composure at halfback. Shared it with Roberts. But they have turned it over. Briggs is sitting behind the ball. His kick is scrappy. And Riccardi's missed it at half forward. Roberts can wheel away and send it up to Parrish, who's taken the mark. And that's 50 against Toby Green. Well, we've seen that coming from Toby. He's getting frustrated. I'm not sure how much was in that.
It was stupid. What is Bedford doing? Why give the handball?
Parrish goes a short option to Peter Wright in the pocket. And he tumbles and takes the grab. 30 out from goal, and angles slightly worse than 45 degrees.
GW, Essendon haven't won this game. GWS have lost it in terms. But what they just have brain fades all the time. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, he'd rewind on that one, Toby Bedford. It was a tough handball to hit Stringer on the fly. He just had to get it in.
Kick it over space. Even if he goes to a stoppage in the pocket, you can set up behind it.
Peter Wright. Here he is in the right forward pocket. It's a big kick for a big man, and he steers it through. He's kicked his third. Bombers are out by 9 points. 13-8-86. Plays GWS 12-5-77. We've played 14 minutes in this final term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport with your experts, Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington.
Good on Essendon. They're making them pay. It's good. That's where I've been impressed. They've stuck to their system and they've made them pay. Their key forwards have shown a bit, but Giants are their own worst enemy. They're their own worst enemy.
Down to Phil Pryor on the boundary.
Yeah, Clayton Oliver's back out there now. He did have a cut underneath his left ISS, 2 to 3 centimetres, but all good. He's back in the game.
And he's on for Toby Green, who maybe that was a rotation. Maybe he was dragged. I mean, he was seeing the red mist. And when Toby sees the red mist, good luck stopping him. He gave away the 50 that led to that Bombers goal. Back out to a 9-point lead. He has kicked 3, though, the Giants skipper. Essendon with the clearance. Langford couldn't take the mark. Well done by Buckley. Can the Giants respond? Buckley to Daniels. Gets rid of it quickly this time. Inside 50, Grzyzewski with the lead. Falls the way of Cadman. He'll kick one back for GWS. Excellent contest, young Grzyzewski. And Cadman was waiting for it. Dribbled it through for his first of the game. But Essendon's lead, importantly, back to 3 points, 15 minutes gone in the final term.
A quick turnaround that they wanted, the quick response again, the Giants. But it was a massive contest from Jack Buckley. He won a great one-on-one. And to hit up Brent Daniels in the middle of the ground, the thing you would love about that play then, Peps, was Brent Daniels said, well, I'm going to kick this ball forward to the Grzyzewski lead inside 50. He made the great contest. And then Cadman doing what big men need to do as well. Great crumb, lovely finish.
Not a single handball in that chain, Sato, and they kick a goal.
3 points the Bombers' way. Midway through this final term on ABC Sport. What a finish coming up. Again from that restart. Roby gets hands to it. Thumps it deep inside 50. Newen marks. Well, somehow got just enough separation in the contest with Buckley. And he'll take a set shot from 40 out directly in front.
That's a good contested mark.
Well, it is against a great defender in Buckley. He's normally very good one-on-one. And, I mean, Newen's not exactly a marking player himself, so huge grab.
Is that Buckley?
Or was it Leake was with him?
No, it's Leake.
Sorry.
Buckley was alongside him, but it was against Leake.
Apologies.
Yeah, Buckley came in late. Anyway, here's Newen to respond immediately here for the Bombers. And push that margin back out to 9 points. His kick is offline. Minor score. Bombers by 4. 16 and a half played final quarter. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
You are set for a thrilling finish on what is now a Saturday night at the Sydney Showground. Here's Iden. Wide to Fonte. He's got space. Has a bounce. And another one. Always backs himself. Smoking Joe Fonte. Eventually gets the kick away. It'll fall the way of Hannaford. Just outside 50. Hannaford into the pocket. Himmelberg will mark. And he can have a shot to give the Giants back the lead. They led... Bombers led by 26 points in the third term. Giants kicked 4 in a row. It's been an arm wrestle since then.
Oh, drop punt, Harry. Hot drop punt.
He's going to go the snap from 45 out on a 45-degree angle to the left. The Giants veteran brings it all the way around and through. And gives the He-Man celebration to his teammates. GWS have the lead back by 2 points. 17 and a half gone in the final term.
They got a bit lucky in there. Yeah, I mean, Fonte, that was great. Take the game on, put the foot down. I mean, that's what you want your young players to do, back yourself in if that's your game. And it was a great chase and tackle. I can't quite remember who it was from the Bombers.
Roby
got a glove on, and it forced Fonte's kick to just sort of, fly off the boot, but it happened to land in the lap of a teammate who then hit it forward to Himmelberg. It hasn't been forward for a long time.
It was Hannaford, and for the young player, he had a bit of composure, waited, and a free play popped up.
The Giants have kicked 8 of the past 11 goals in the game. That one to Harry Himmelberg. Puts them back in front by 2 points. In the middle, free kick, player taken high. Played Giants. Daniels blitzes away, 60 from goal. No one's in the square, and it will bounce through. A goal inside 6 seconds. And the Giants are out by 8. A second goal for Brent Daniels. Makes it GWS 15-5-95. Essendon 13-9-87. 18 make it soon to be 19 gone in this final term. Your experts Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington on ABC Sport.
Oh, I don't know what that free kick. It was one of those silly ruck ones. Everyone stopped. No one knew who the free kick was. And the ball happened to be in Daniel's hand. He just kept running and had a shot. But Well, I've got no idea what that free kick.
I think he might have jumped over the line, Nick Bryan. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's he supposed to do? He's jumping up for the ruck and Briggs gets out of the way. It's just ridiculous.
It's a tough watch if you're a Bombers fan. They're not doing a lot wrong.
That was nothing wrong there.
The Giants just capitalising here.
But the Giants love that move. Brent Daniels into the middle to try and give them a lift. And he's done so with a big goal. They lead by 8 points. Essendon, though, go back into attack. Punched away from Langford by Ash. Gathered now by Roby. Just sends it inside 50. Bouncing ball, bounce over the head of Peter Wright. That doesn't happen very often. Gathered by Harvey Thomas. His kick is out to a contest and is well marked by Nick Cox. Just outside 50. Goes short to Roby. Guides it into the pocket. Langford will take the mark. Sullivan Roby, the youngster, doing some dangerous work outside 50 at half forward for Essendon. This is a big kick from Kyle Langford. Wrong side for a right footer in the pocket. And he might just choose to snap this around on his left.
Love there's Roby involved again in that play. Big moment, young player, first year. He's the one standing up at the moment.
He's going to be a beauty. And they need Kyle Langford to convert here. It's a little bit skinny. Through for a behind. Not a bad effort. The Giants lead is 7 points. 15-5-95. Essendon 13-10-88. And we're into time on in the final quarter here at the Sydney Showground.
7 points that Giants leaders, Daniel Garb mentioned. Laverde back off to Ash from the kick out. He evades the diving tackle attempt there of Langford. Works a hand pass. Oh, he runs too far. There's a push. Advantage played Giants. Whitfield now finds Cadman just forward of halfway members' side. Every kick in this chain so important for both sides, really. Giants attacking, Bombers defending. Whitfield from left half forward. Sends them inside 50, reaching from the back. That was Stringer. It comes to ground now as Krajewski lays the tackle on Nick Bryan. And will ball up at left full forward now for the Giants.
You've been happy there, Pebs. Cadman didn't blaze away. He just took the simple one that was in front of him.
7 points, the home side's lead. Durham sends a high, hurried ball beyond defensive 50. Ash intercepts at half forward now for the Giants.
Ash assesses his options. Now gets going. There's a long shot from 55. Bombers are back there. Off hands. Through for a rush behind. Giants lead is back to 8 points. 21.5 gone in the last.
That's a nothing kick because it gets through a rush behind. Like, that's selfish.
36 disposals and counting for Archie Roberts. As it goes wide here now for Archie Perkins. At left half back, called to play on. Retreats inside defensive 50 with a hand pass. Roberts goes again to find Dersma. Thomas. Hey boy, the free kick on him was too high. Advantage played Bombers. Durham on the outer wing. Sends them forward again. Deep to Peter Wright, who was outnumbered. In comes Iden from the side. Merritt's loose man there, does the crumbing. Sends it towards full forward now. And it's up at the top of the square. McMullen. Ewan gets there first for the Bombers. He snaps. Iden smothers. Great work by Connor Iden. Loose ball comes down to Nick Cox and he was collected. Umpire says give it to me for a ball up. 30 out from the Bombers attacking goal.
That could be a game-saving smother. That was fantastic there by Connor Iden.
They come for Connor Iden like he's kicked the first goal in his AFL career.
It's just as big.
In 126 games. Massive smother. Ewan had options, but you can't blame him for going for the snap from 15 out straight in front. Iden did superbly. Quick kick by Essendon, though. They're still in attack. Iden keeps his feet opposed to Caddy. Whitfield goes to ground, but taps it back to Iden, who clears the area. A big couple of minutes from the Giants vice-captain. Off hands, gathered by Stringer. Handball over the top. Bedford will pounce. Here go the Giants. They've got all the space in the world. He just puts it out in front of Krajewski. Will it stay in play? What were you doing?
What was
Bedford
that?
just needed to put it out in front of Krajewski, but he went for the half and half. He kicked it too hard, through for a behind. They could have just about iced the game there, the Giants. They lead by 9 points. Still time for Essendon.
He could have run himself. Like, that was second time he's gone forward and absolutely butchered it.
On the kick out, finds Roby at left half back. And here's gets intercepted by Lockie Ash. Giants by 9 points. Ash on the outer wing here for the Giants at the Sydney Showground. Finds Bedford, unmarked at centre half forward. Still 55 from goal. Lays off the hand pass. Whitfield deep to the pocket. Trying to find Toby Green. Contested grab. Had McGrath beat the two captains in the contest. And Toby Green falls and takes the mark in the right forward pocket. And he'll go back here for his fourth.
I thought he picked the tougher option today. Krzyzewski all out on a lead. I mean, sometimes you see Toby Green one-on-one late in the quarter, you're probably going to go to him as well, aren't you?
Still, I really question some of the Giants' decision-making there.
No Giant has played more games, and he centres his ball to find Gothard. Gothard marks, 30 from goal, slight angle right of centre.
That's a smart move. Give it to a player in a much better position who's sitting there all on his own.
Higher percentage shot on goal, that's for sure.
Yep.
What's a bit of pressure on the kick, though, for the young man.
Big Gothard has the chance here to just about put this game to bed. We're just under 5 minutes of game time remaining. Gothard for his second goal. In he trots, scoreboard end, sneaks it through. A couple of goals for the Phoenix. And now it's the Bombers who will have to rise up and fight back here from 15 points down. The Giants are 16-703. Essendon 13-10-88. We've played now 25 minutes in this final term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, that was a good team play there. Composed, experienced player. Could have easily done, look, I'm going to take this shot and take all the glory myself, but Phoenix was just all alone there, inside 50, make it almost a certainty, which it was in the end. But yeah, as I said, the Giants just sometimes make it so hard on themselves.
Unfortunately for the Bombers, it just looks like it's going to be a little bit tough to come back from here. They've had such a good dip into this game, and it's just slipped away through this last quarter out to 15 points. They're going to need a quick one.
Perhaps tiring a little bit. It's been a taxing game style. And the Giants win it in the middle again through Oliver. Stringer with a big fly. He's given away a free kick. Bombers have to play on quickly now. Redmond does to Roberts. Possession number 40 for him. Been brilliant across half-back to Dersma. Out in a long lead is Peter Wright. Couldn't take the mark. Langford's there, though. Handball back to Brian. Throws it on his right boot. Good smother from Oliver. Back there is Day Wicks, though, gathering it. It's into the ground with Merritt. So it's in a dangerous spot. They need a quick goal. Excellent kick from Merritt. Out in the lead was May. Couldn't take the mark. And Daniels, who's been really good in the second half, goes short across half-back for the Giants.
And pass went wide from Cornelio back to Thomas. And now does go beyond defensive 50. Merritt marks on the wing all by himself. Pops it back inside 50 now, but straight up there for Lockie Ash, who intercepts. With a good second half, Lockie Ash. 23 disposals coming up for him. And now goes down the corridor, finding his skipper, Toby Green.
And Green plays on quickly. Giants out in space. It's Bedford again. It's over his head. Blackiston comes across, needs to win this contest. Good tackle from Bedford. Redmond was supporting, though. The handball from Blackiston. Put McGrath under pressure. Good tackle, Daniels, and then Stringer. Came in hard and caught a bomber high there and his old teammate in Merritt.
But why would Toby Green play on there? Because they don't need. They got the lead. They're just giving it back to Essendon. This is frustrating to watch.
Merritt up to Langford. Bombers need the next goal really quickly. Time is against them now. Giants lead by 15 points.
They need 3 goals in 3 minutes, effectively the Bombers. Redmond's hand pass off the Nick Cox. He kicks wide now to find Archie Perkins. And he's just forward of the wing. Now called to play on. A goal in the offing here. Right leads up from full forward marks. 35 out, slight angle left of centre. Well, here's the first of them potentially.
Yeah, it needs to go through.
He won't use the full 30, knowing that time's against them. Peter Wright lining up for his 4th goal. To cut the margin back to 9 points, and he does hit the post. And with that, you think they're just about done. Giants by 14 points. Peter Wright's 4th goal goes begging. And he's had, 3 goals, 3 tonight.
They had to go through that one for any chance.
They've been more than gallant, Essendon. They're the better side in this game for a long time. The Giants turned it on in the second half. Midfield up to the wing. Again, the Bombers gather it. Roberts with possession number 41. Outstanding across half-back. Durham in his 100th game and won't be one with a win. Move it inside 50 again, Essendon. Himmelberg cuts across and he's happy to see it over the boundary line. So the second win of the campaign will evade them, Essendon. And the Giants keep their season alive. It looks gone at one stage, down by 26 points in the third term. With West Coast next week, they'll have a chance for back-to-back victories.
Clyde tumbles it back in. Langford out to meet the footy. Knocked away here, back in the direction of Jackson Pryor. And it's all the way back here on the outer wing of the ground. Roberts tackled by Bedford. Slick hand pass off the deck to his former captain, Merritt. And Merritt retreats back towards Blackiston. He'll now throw it all the way across now to the members' side. And there's a well-weighted kick to find Mason Redmond. Called to play on though as he takes on Laverde in his run. And by Stringer, in fact, he runs him down, Stringer. Not for the first time in this game. He effects a tackle. The Giants will have possession here in this final minute.
Stringer would have loved that against one of his former teammates. He's been dangerous up forward. 3 goals. And he'll have the bragging rights. Short to Fonzie. Now Iden. Now the Giants can chip it around, which the Bombers did when they had control of the game in the first half. Up by 14 points. Laverde, another former Bomber. He played 145 games for Essendon and has been really strong down back all season for the Giants, and in this one as well. And now it's with Iden.
Switch it across here, back inside offensive 50 for Laverde. And Iden again in the bright pink boots finds Lockie Whitfield. 35 disposals for Lockie Whitfield, and all of them so slick tonight. Callahan marks on the outer side as they protect this 14-point lead. GWS. It's with Harvey Thomas. The Bombers certainly were gallant in defeat, but the Giants just outlasted them. For the win, Adam Kingsley's men just had to have to keep their 2026 campaign alive. Winners by 14 points, the Giants.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
At one stage, the Giants trailed by 26 points in that third quarter. They kicked from that stage 4 goals in about 5 or 6 minutes, and then would finish with 10 of the last 13 goals in the game to win by 14 points. It was 4 points their way at quarter time. They trailed by 15 at the half in Essendon's favour. The Bombers led by 2 points at the final change, but the Giants see it through here for a 14-point win at home at the Showground.
Big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. Take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end.
In the end, the Giants 16-703 to Essendon 13-11-89. So finished with one more scoring shot there in the end, Brad Scott's men, but they will slump now to 1-8 on the year. The Giants improved to 4 wins and 5 losses, climbing up from 14th. The goal kickers in this game for the Giants, first of all, their skipper led from the front with 3 goals, Toby Green, 3 also for Jake Stringer, it's his former side, 2 each for Riccardi, Daniels, Krajewski and Gothard, singles to Cadman and Himmelberg. Meanwhile, for the visitors, 3 goals each for Peter Wright and Archer May, a couple of goals for Caddy and Dersma, singles to Parrish, Redmond and Perkins in the end. And Archie Roberts had 42 disposals, 31 kicks, 11 hand passes. More on that shortly. But first of all, the first summation on that game from our experts, Norm Smith medalist Ryan O'Keefe and former Swan and Blue Jason Saddington.
Look, it's a win, but there's some serious issues, I think, in the Giants. Like, I just don't like the way. I just don't like the way they move the ball. I just think, obviously it was a clear change of way they went in the second half, and use the kick and direct. But they've just got a lot of players that make some absolute horrific decisions with the ball, and like it'd be hard being a forward there. It's just. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a game style. I just don't think it can be sustained. It needs to be tweaked the way they go about it. They just make it so hard for themselves, and just think some of their older players now, it's just wearing them down.
Well, I think the positive the Giants probably do take out is when, one, they get the win, which they needed to win to keep going. Probably you look at the game and you go, the way we need to play is what we did in the second half. Yeah. We got the balance better in terms of our run and gun game, but they took the game on and made it a bit quicker by foot. And that's the bit that they take away and go, first half, we're just making it up. We're overdoing the handballs. Second half, let's see what we can do, guys. That's the way we play our ball. And we have greater impact in the game as a team is when we're actually using our feet and our foot skills to charge the ball forward a little bit more often.
But they don't have a change. They've got one pace, and it's flat out. Like, for example, that last play, Toby Green, so Lockie Ash finally took some composure, went back, did a beautiful kick, hit Toby Green in the middle. They're up. They don't need to score. Toby plays on flat out, kicks it to a 3v1, and then gives the ball back to Essendon. Essendon go back, and Peter Wright nearly kicks a goal.
Yeah.
Like, well, why? Like, it's just dumb football.
And I think that's a bit. It's just that finding that balance.
Well, because if you go back even it was a year before when they got bowed out straight sets in the final, they continue to play that same speed handball, get out, and teams were coming and they didn't have a second gear or a different way to go. Hang on, let's defend the game with ball in hand and own it a bit. You see the good teams, the Brisbane Lions, you can see the Hawks, even Freo, the Swans. They can just control the game. Go, we'll just take the speed and the intensity of the game, but we'll control it and we'll just own the ball, and then they can defend behind it. The Giants just go 100 miles an hour every time. I think they've brought up this hype of this tsunami, and I just think the tsunami now, people know how to play it, and it's a useless game plan in terms when teams put pressure and going against you.
Yeah. I'll give a lot of credit to Essendon. I thought they were terrific.
Yep.
Tonight they gave themselves a shot. First half, Giants turned the ball over perhaps a bit too often, but Essendon made them pay. They probably could have had a bit more of a lead. They dominated the inside 50s first half. And even as the game went on, they took their opportunities. They got out to a great lead in the third quarter. Yeah. And then the Giants started to click and get their game going, and they just probably struggled to be able to maintain it at times. But they had a red-hot crack even the last quarter. They took their opportunities when they had their shots on goal. Archie May had a couple of terrific goals that just kept steadying it for them and keeping them in the game. They can take a lot of positive out of it. They gave themselves a shot. They're in a game. They probably haven't been in one for a while. So, I mean, as an Essendon fan, whilst you're probably disappointed, and players and coaches, that you didn't get the win when you had a chance to win a game of footy, I think it's a big step forward for them. They can take some confidence that, hey, when we get it right, when we play well and we put pressure on the oppo and we use the ball well, we're going to, we'll give ourselves a chance.
I was more impressed with Essendon's game than I was with the Giants, even though they lost. Yeah. Like, just in terms, you go through some of these young players, there's a lot of upside there. There is some light at the end of the tunnel for them.
We'll explore that shortly here on Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. Thank the stars for Toby Green, says one correspondent. 0437 774 774 off to the MCG or Darwin next. But right now, let's head into the Giants' rooms as they make their way down towards you, Phil Pryor.
Yeah, that's correct. And just as we say that, Toby Green leads the boys into the dressing rooms. You can hear some of the family, friends and loved ones now just giving them a bit of a round of applause, perhaps just a little bit muted on where it might normally be based on what's just transpired across the last 4 quarters. But I'm sure they're saying to one another, a win is a win as well. So here they come in now. They're forming a circle as we speak, picking up win number 4 for the season. Jaden Laverde right in front of me as well against his old team.
Never mind the G at the start of their name. It's all at the W here for the GWS Giants. The winners by 14 points at the Sydney Showground. Back to Phil Pry very shortly in the victorious rooms. Just on Archie Roberts, by the way, I said 42 disposals. That is actually equal career best. He had 42 in both round 5 and 7 of this campaign. So he's had a couple of big days in this season so far for the Bombers.
We talk about one of the big moments in that final quarter, that Connor Iden's smother. That was massive, wasn't it? The Giants will tell you till the cows come home, he is the most underrated defender in the competition. I think he gets a fair bit of credit now, but that summed him up, didn't it?
Oh, that was a game saver. Absolute game saver. That was unbelievable. He just does his job. No fuss about him. I'm a big fan of Connor Iden. I reckon he's great. And that was an absolute huge moment.
And that's what he does. Yep. Bang on. In that play, Ewan was almost looked like he's about to have a shot, kick a goal. He is one of those future players that you were talking about a little bit before, Peps. I think Ewan's got a future for him. And Roby was another player that we spoke about throughout the call. In his first game, just looks composed, strong, good ball user, and has that competitive aspect. And he was happy to take on Toby Green in a bit of a scuffle and a bit of push and shove. It was great to see him. He was probably one of the players that really stood up in that last quarter for them.
And it can come down to key moments. But if you're the Bombers, you're a young team, at what stage do you have the confidence to see these games out? To take advantage of, course, 4 quarters of a team being not the best version of themselves, as the Giants weren't tonight. How does that improve for the Bombers over time? Just come with time?
Yeah, it will. And this is a step forward. You look at this and go, we've been on the road, we've played them in their home deck, and we gave it up to them. And it's just probably defensively we let a few easy goals go through. We missed a few. Like they've had kicked 13-11, so they led the inside 50. Yeah, they've had 61 inside 50s. So you look at that stat and you go, we should have really won that. We haven't, but at least it's a positive step.
I think it is a little bit of time too, Spriggy. Games into him. I mean, Roberts is a star. We can see that already. But even for Caddy, looks like he's turning into a really, really good player.
Sharp. I like Sharp.
Sharp's a great midfielder. May, looks like a good key forward for them. I think, there's definitely some upside with some of those players.
Sharp went down with a shoulder injury, which is a worry for the Bombers. It looked reasonably serious, so hopefully he's not out for too long. Yeah, Roby's the one that everyone who watched draft videos said, draft this guy, please. They were praying for their team to do so. The Bombers got him with pick 9, and he looks brilliant. And Farrow as well across half back. There's some great signs there, but some of their older players who are still delivering, are they going to be there when these players come through for the next crack at it? Perhaps if they can generate one of those cracks at it, the Bombers, because they've fallen short so many times and had so many rebuilds. That's a big question, but the Giants got over them in the end by 14 points.
The Bombers at home, I say at home, they're actually at the MCG against Freo in the early game on Sunday in round 10. Next week, the Giants are away to the West Coast Eagles at Perth Stadium. That's the Sunday. It's Sunday 6:15 Eastern, 4:15 local. So a bit of a random time slot there for the Giants. Next game away to the West Coast Eagles. Up next for us, we'll head into the Giants' rooms in just a few moments and speak to hopefully Jake Stringer. Otherwise, if you are listening through local radio Northern Territory, you'll head off to the game at Morar of the Gold Coast Suns and St Kilda. Note, it's Laivanganine Miller for the Saints. He is a late withdrawal due to being managed. Ryan Burns comes in for his first game of the season. The Saints and the Suns coming up in Darwin. If you're listening through Sydney and Canberra News Radio, you're heading back to local programming, regular programming, and you can keep listening to our AFL coverage on ABC Listen, either via ABC AFL or ABC AFL Extra. Those two buttons, the two options for our Saturday night games coming up here for the remainder of your Saturday evening right here on ABC Sport. While we carry on here at the Sydney Showground, you are with Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, Ryan O'Keefe, Jason Saddington and Phil Pry, who is in the Giants' rooms, and hopefully down to Phil very, very shortly when he's got his special guest with him. While we wait then, I get
I was just going to jump in while we do wait. Probably to talk and maybe give a little bit some different perspective around the Giants as well, because I know we've been a little bit critical. But you have a look at there's actually some inexperience out in the park for them too. We know they had some players out today in terms of Hogan, O'Halloran, etc.
Gothard was big.
But Krzyzewski, McMullen, Hannaford, Gothard, Fonte, Leake, Thomas, they're all players in their first, second, third years. There's a lot of inexperience out
Let's
there.
workshop that with our special guest, who is with Phil Pryor in the Giants rooms.
That is correct. We've got Jake Stringer down here. Jake, 3 goals in what ended up being a win, perhaps not overly convincing. What's your initial takeaway?
Just glad to get the win, to be honest. Pretty ugly game, but it was just good to come away with 4 points.
And obviously for you, a bit more of an important job today. No Jesse Hogan up top. How do you think that affected things in the forward half?
Yeah, I thought we did all right. I thought Cads and Guru and Ricker were competing really well. We just had some terrible turnovers in the back half and they punished us. And then once we tidied that up, I thought, it felt like every time we were going inside 50 we were scoring, but we just didn't have much supply in that first half.
Yeah, look, I must admit our experts upstairs, Jason Saddington and Ryan O'Keefe, they were getting stuck into the midfield group a little bit with some of that ball wastage. Can you put your finger on what was going on?
There's a few stern words at half-time, though, so I'm glad we tidied it up and were able to capitalise and get the 4 points in the end.
Well, I might throw it up to those boys. We've got Brett Sprigg and Daniel Garb up there as well, boys. Over to you.
Just a quick one. The stern words, Jake, did it match the Adam Kingsley spray from the derby last year at all?
To be honest, it wasn't a spray necessarily. It was more from the players. He sort of had his few points and, we just weren't playing to the standard that we expect from each other. So it was more the leaders driving it and it wasn't so much about talking. It was just more about action in it.
Yeah, Jake, Ryan O'Keefe here, mate. I feel for you as a forward line at the moment there, just with the delivery you've been getting and the ball use and the over handball, and I just keep saying get it into you guys and by foot, and clearly that did change in the second half. Is it something that you're going to have to just keep focusing on and be a little bit more direct and get the ball into you guys and give you guys a lot more supply?
Yeah, it's one of those balancing acts. At the minute, we're probably, there's been a common theme through our games where we're probably overdoing it, but when they are kicking it in, the contest ahead of the ball has been unbelievable all year. It's just been, probably that lack of or lack of clean disposal that's sort of killing us. But, I feel like the forwards are actually putting up a really good contest and we're scoring well, but, we would love a little bit more clean ball would be nice.
Yeah, look, I think, hats off to you guys up forward. You really fought well, and when you get it in, you're doing such a great job. Now, going forward, getting this win and now a bit of confidence back in that. What are you sort of going to have to set yourself? Is it going to be more like, okay, next week we've got the Eagles, we've got to just take that game, hopefully get some players back and keep building from there?
Yeah, I think so. It's just about, those minor tweaks. Our back half turnovers were killing us. And then same with the mid turnovers. But it wasn't really forced. It was more just our unpressured errors. And we had quite a few today that still cost us. So, if we chip those, in the backside pretty quickly, it'll go a long way to us being able to not have to chase teams down.
Jake's at Sato up here, mate. You mentioned that there's some of the younger players you had in the forward line up there, especially some of the smalls. With Jesse out, you had to take on that leadership role. Did you thrive? It looked like you thrived in that position today, sort of being the older player down there.
Yeah, it's sort of something that, I know I'm the most experienced guy down there, so just making sure that especially when the momentum was against us and, we were down by 26 odd points, it was just about staying calm and keeping the young boys' head in the game and just worrying about their role and executing what they can do next. And it's certainly a big change in my career, but one that I'm certainly loving.
Will you get Jesse back next week?
I think it's 50-50, but I would probably say maybe the week after.
Jake, how much did you enjoy the win against your former club? It looked like you were up for it in a big way, 3 big goals, and in particular, the rundown on Mason Redmond right at the end when the game was just about sewn up.
Yeah, it was just good. It was probably, one of those games for us. It was a real season-defining game. We lose that, we're in a fair bit of froth and bubble, so it was just good to grind it out, and even though it was against the old side, it didn't really matter too much, but it is certainly sweeter.
And a tight game is defined by its moments, and Garvey mentioned a few of those that you were involved in, but the one at the end there with Jaden Ewan and his mother from Connor Iden, that was just phenomenal from Connor Iden. Take us through your mind when that happened.
Well, I was like, oh no, we've given up a shocking goal here, and then the old Superman smother, that'll be shown on the highlight reel at the club for the next 6 weeks, I reckon. It was unbelievable.
How much do you as teammates rate a player like Connor Iden?
Oh mate, he's an out-and-out superstar, and he's one of our most valued members in our footy club by a long, long way. He doesn't get so much recognition outside the four walls, but mate, I don't think I've seen too many games where he's ever been beaten one-on-one. He's just a superstar, just someone so reliable, doesn't miss training, doesn't miss games, and a superstar off the field as well.
It was a huge moment from him. And what about Finn Callaghan in the second half in particular, Jake? It looks like he put the Superman cape on and said, come with me.
He certainly did. Those mids were sort of a little bit all over the place in that first half, and then I thought the way that Clary and Toby and Finn really started to get the ball going forward, and then also coming down and helping us defend, which went a long way to us getting the 4 points.
Just as we let you go, Jake, I had one thought during the game, which if I get the chance to ask him, I will. Your goal song, Shania Twain. Well, what did you pick that? Where did that come from?
That was the kids. The girls picked that, so
love it.
I was like, yeah, whatever.
Love it. That's girl dad stuff. Awesome stuff, Jake. Appreciate your time.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Jake Stringer with us in the Victorious Giants rooms. 14 points their win over Essendon here at the Sydney Showground. I wouldn't think Jesse Hogan comes back. They're going to Perth, and why would you risk him against West Coast? They should get the job done against pretty comfortably. There's the chance that Sam Taylor comes back in slightly early, maybe the week after. So 2 weeks. Lekalia still a week or two away, but I would think Hogan is no chance in Perth next week.
Well, what was interesting there is what we were saying. They were talking about it, about the overuse and as a forward. So it's like they're actually seeing it and feeling it and talking about it out themselves. It's about how do you change that narrative?
So I wanted to ask you two, Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington, why don't they deploy more of a plan B? Because it happens at home every week. We watch the same thing, the same movie unfold in front of us every week. Teams come here, they sit off, they try catch them running off half back because they know the Giants want to do that, pressure them, turn it over and get a lead in the first half. Why not just try go long over that press and break it up and confuse the opposition? They only want to play the plan A.
Well, I think it's all right, this is our plan. This is what our one wood is. Let's go for it. And then they go, okay, it's not working. Now what do we do? So, as I said, the forwards, like Jake is a very experienced and a smart footballer. They're seeing it and they're saying, and obviously that's what was said at half time because we saw a complete change in how they play. They need to implement that in games, quarters, and you see the good teams. They've got 2 gears they play. They go, all right, we'll go gear 1, or hang on, it's not working, gear 2, and they can switch in and out of those attacking gears easy, and they're smart and they do it all the time. I think they've got to work on it. They have to work on it because when they do, they're effective.
Who's doing our votes, by the way, before we get onto it? Do you want to give it to us now, Pebs?
Yep, I can do that.
On here?
Yep, no worries. I've given 1 vote to Clayton Oliver. Thought he's a workhorse. He got in, had a heap of clearances and contest the ball. 2 for Finn Callaghan. He dragged, come on boys, come with me, dragged him over, and then 3 votes for Archie Roberts. He was solid all game.
Yep. So 3 for Archie Roberts, 2 for Finn Callaghan, and 1 to Clayton Oliver in the ABC Player of the Year. The Giants by 14 points here. Do you have something you wanted to say, Sato?
No, I think that was bang on there, Pebbles.
It always is.
It was clear. It was a clear 2, wasn't it? It was a clear 2. Roberts, that was the standout 3, and Callaghan was the standout for the Giants. It was probably the 1 vote was probably the hardest one to.
Yeah, I just said Oliver. He's just some of his hard stuff inside. He was one player that was just. He was just an absolute beast in there.
And that's what you get from him, isn't it? I mean, that's why he's been great for them, because he's just the grunt work. He just gets it done. He's great at winning the footy. There's not a lot of polish and class in terms of what he does with it, but he just gets the job done.
And it's been huge because Tom Green's out.
Well, he's having a great season. So coming into this game, he was 5th in the comp for disposals per game, 7th for score involvements, 3rd for clearances. And it just makes you think, if only they had Tom Green alongside him, they'd be dominating most opposition in the midfield.
Had another 11 clearances.
What do they look like in a team together would be interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it like, do you have two big bulls in there? Does that work, or do you have to put someone else out to the...
You guys know more than me, but I reckon when they're that good, you find a way to get around.
You do. Prepared to have both of them.
Yeah.
So the Giants jump up from 14th to 13th with that win. So as I said, now 4-5 on the year with West Coast away their next assignment next week at Perth Stadium. Essendon stay in 17th for now. And Port are now 14th. The Giants jump over them with the 14-point win here today. Up next, we're at the MCG for Geelong and Collingwood. Matt Clinch, Lauren Borden, Callum Sinclair and Brent Harvey. Of course, the significance of that is not lost on us because Scott Pendlebury equals Boomer on the game's tally tonight. And, of course, we'll get his outright milestone in the weeks to come. In 2 weeks after that, he's not going to come to Sydney next week, is he, to face the Swans and do it there. So that's special to have Boomer with us as always, but especially tonight with Scott Pendlebury playing game number 432 at the MCG. And we'll have Poppy Penny on the boundary there as well at the MCG. Tip for tonight, Geelong Collingwood?
Cats. It's hard. And both teams have been playing good footy, but a little bit up and down. I'm going the Cats.
So is the plan to... He equals it this week, the record, Pendles. Rest him against Sydney next week, and then they've got the big celebration at home to West Coast.
A 6-day break next week, plus it's not at the MCG. The plan always was for him to do it at the MCG, so that'll be against the West Coast Eagles.
I'm sure the club would be glad it's over,
That's what I was about to say.
and then they can get on with normal programming, because I think if it wasn't that, he would have played.
Plus, they can beat West Coast. That's the other thing.
Well, yeah,
that's also. But that
is another thing.
They'll win. So
it's a little bit like we don't want to have this on a sour day if the Swans come out and belt them.
Yeah. That's coming up at the MCG, the Cats and the Pies. By the way, in Darwin, that game already underway. The Gold Coast Suns 1-1-7 lead St Kilda yet to score. The Saints without Wanganeen Miller, who is being managed. The goal kick to Ben King, early stages there. You can find a full call of that via ABC Listen. That's our trusty app, and the AFL Extra button. While the rest of us head off very shortly to Matt Clinch and the team at the G for the Cats and the Pies. The Giants winners by 14 points here, but Ryan O'Keefe and Jason Saddington, especially you, Pebs, remain far from convinced of the Giants' credentials in 26.
Not yet. I had high hopes. I had them in my top 4 at the start of the year. I have high hopes. I rate them as a team, but I just think things need to change.
Thanks, boys. See you next time.
Thank you.
Ryan O'Keefe, Jason Saddington. Thank you to Daniel Garb and to Phil Pryor in the rooms and on the boundary, and to Tim Traeger on the faders here on AFL debut here at the Sydney Showground. Thank you, Tim, for your efforts. And to Craig Davis doing the marathon shift back in the studio at HQ with all these games back to back to back. Saturday footy on ABC Sport rolls on. Next stop, the MCG for the Pies and the Cats. It's all coming your way next as we farewell you from Sydney, where it was the Giants by 14 points over Essendon.